Part 84. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 831. They drank a lot of wine that night. Han Emperor Liu Bang and Zhang Chen reunited unexpectedly. They were really happy. They also met Liu Ligan. They were also really happy. In Hangzhou in February, the weather was still cold and cold. What they were drinking now, it's still rice wine with ginger shreds added. Liu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, had an astonishing capacity for drinking, rich experiences, and full of stories. When he opened a nightclub in Taipei, he never interacted with anyone, but those who went to the nightclub, no matter how glamorous, high-sounding, or bathed he or she was in the eyes of others. The monkey is like a crown, and when he arrives at the nightclub, his true side is revealed. The stories about Liu Bang, the founder of the Han dynasty, kept the women full, especially the past events he told about Brigitte Lin, Hu Huizhong, Wang Zuxian, etc., whetted the appetites of several women, and their drinking capacity was enough to make Zhang Chen and Liu Li drunk. The polls are all high. They can't even drive. In the end, Liu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, called a taxi and left with Zhou Yaqian. Wen Wen detained Lao Wan in Liu Li's pole. Lao Wan came over and drove the car downstairs to the company, and then together with Wen Wen Qian, Liu Ligan sent him upstairs. Before Lao Wan drove away, he got Zhang Chen into the car. Hong Mei drove to the downstairs of the dynamic zone and called 2 security guards, one on each side. The 2 security guards carried Zhang Chen upstairs and asked him to lie down on the couch in the office. Hong Mei rummaged around in the office, but couldn't find anything that could be covered. She went to the design center next door to have a look. They were currently designing spring and summer clothes, all made of thin fabrics, which didn't seem to work. She had no choice but to wake up. Tan Shahen brought a quilt from her and covered Zhang Chen with it. Who are they drinking with and drinking so much? Tan Shahen asked. Liu Bang, the great ancestor of the Han dynasty. Who? A Taiwanese, the owner of the bowling alley next door, and master have known each other before. They seem to have a good relationship. Master is really happy today. I have never seen him drink so much since I met him, Hong Mei said. I've seen it often before, Tan Shahen said with a smile. Okay, you can go back and let him sleep here. He's okay, much better than the other one. He doesn't make trouble when he drinks too much and is very quiet. Just want to sleep. The other one is, of course, Liu Ligan. Liu Ligan drinks too much. Firstly, he talks a lot, and also performs various performances. The most popular one is Hey 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 Hey. If no one cares about him and everyone is sleeping in the audience, a person can spend the whole night on stage laughing and joking. Tan Shahen had to yell loudly every time so that Liu Ligan could sober up and close his mouth. Hong Mei smiled and said, Sister Shahen, it seems that you really understand him. Tan Shahen smiled, of course, we used to go out to perform, and after the performance, as long as there was still some money in his pocket, what else would this man do besides drinking? Once he stayed in someone's ancestral hall, and a group of them left the person there. I secretly drank all the 8 jars of wine, and when I was leaving, I was discovered by others. We asked our group to pay for the wine, and we would not let him go unless he paid the penalty. Hong Mei laughed. What's the result? The group was so poor that they couldn't afford compensation. As a result, they were given an extra afternoon show and an extra night show to pay for the drinks. That day, some of them were scolded to death by us girls, but they were honest. I dare not reply a word. Why do we still need to go on stage to save them? As Tan Shahen said, Hong Mei laughed so hard that she couldn't stand upright. After Hong Mei finished laughing, she nodded and said, he has the same moral character as our male classmates when we were studying. By the way, why don't you squeeze in with me? Tan Shahen asked Hong Mei. He Hongmei also drank some wine and felt dizzy. She wished Tan Shahen would say this and quickly agreed. After washing, she squeezed onto Tan Shahen's bed and fell asleep as soon as her head hit the pillow. Tan Shahen was always worried. She got up twice and came over to see Zhang Chen. She poured out the iced water on the coffee table and replaced it with a cup of hot water. Fortunately, the night was uneventful. Zhang Chen didn't wake up until about 10 o'clock the next morning. He couldn't remember why he slept in the office. Looking at the quilt on his body, it seemed to belong to Tan Shahen. He sat up and felt his mouth was dry. Yes, I took the cup on the coffee table and drank most of the ice water in one gulp, only then did I feel better. He shook his head. His head was still a little heavy. He leaned back and leaned on the sofa. He closed his eyes and thought about it. Then he remembered that he had eaten mutton chops last night and drank a lot of wine. Lu Bang, the great ancestor of the Han dynasty. Zhang Chen opened his eyes suddenly, took the mobile phone on the coffee table, and dialed Xiao Zhao's number. The call was not connected. Zhang Chen looked at his watch. By this time, Xiao Zhao should have been on the plane back to Hangzhou from Beijing. The index fingers of Zhang Chen's hands pressed hard on his two temples until it hurt like tearing. Then he let go and felt that his temples swelled up instantly. He pressed it down again and pressed it a few times before he felt more comfortable. Zhao Jingjing helped open the door, and He Hongmei came in with a bowl of noodles in both hands, shouting, "Eat breakfast, have breakfast." Putting the noodles on the coffee table, Zhang Chen saw that a lot of hot sauce was added to it, and even the noodle soup was red. He couldn't help but be overjoyed and ate it quickly. I wanted to ask He Hongmei a question in my heart, but I had no time in my mouth. I just ate slurpingly. I finished the bowl of noodles and even the soup. I asked He Hongmei if there was any more. Yes, in the store below. Forget it. Zhang Chen said, taking the tissue on the table and wiping the sweat on his head, so that his head wouldn't hurt anymore. He Hongmei took out the dishes and washed them, then put them away in the cabinet when she came back. Then she picked up the quilt from the sofa, folded it neatly and placed it in the corner of the sofa. "How are Boss Lu and the Pole?" Zhang Chen asked. "Drunk and vomited all over the place." "Real. Real." He Hongmei nodded, knowing in her heart that men are like this. When they drink too much, they don't care about other people. What they care about most is what happens to the other people they drink with. Knowing that other people are drunker than him will satisfy their vanity. I am happier than picking up any treasure. Hey, sure enough, Zhang Chen clenched his fist and waved it, raised his head and asked, "I'm not drunk, am I?" He Hongmei couldn't help but smile and said, "No, you can still drive back by yourself, walk up the stairs by yourself, and teach me and Sister Shahen." "I'm still teaching you, what should I say?" Zhang Chen asked urgently. "You do not know." Zhang Chen thought for a moment and smiled sheepishly, "I really can't remember this." "Then think about it slowly," He Hongmei smiled. Zhang Chen looked at his watch, stood up and wanted to walk out. The soles of his feet were weak, but he still swayed twice before he stopped. "What do you want to do?" He Hongmei asked. "Go to the airport to pick up Xiao Zhao." He picked up the car keys on the coffee table and said. He Hongmei took the key and told him, "I'll drive and you take the car." As soon as the two people walked out of the door, they saw Lu Bang, the founder of the Han dynasty, coming up from the stairs. When he saw them, he shouted, "Little brother, I came here uninvited to have a look at you." Zhang Chen quickly said, "Welcome." Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, approached, and Zhang Chen asked with concern, "Are you okay?" Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, looked at him as if he didn't know what he was talking about. Zhang Chen continued to talk about the wine last night. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, understood and said with a smile, "Yes, the wine has some staying power, but it will be better after a sleep." People like us who come from nightclubs have no other skills, except that we are particularly good at sobering up. Jiang Chen nodded, obviously a little disappointed, while He Hongmei watched from the side and smiled secretly. The three people walked around the design center, financial center, and Jiang Chen's office. Standing in front of the window of Jiang Chen's office, Jiang Chen pointed to the row of houses on the other side of the canal as usual and told Liu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, that this was the pole project. Liu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, was startled. You mean the brother last night? Jiang Chen is right. I really didn't expect such a big project, Han Emperor Liu Bang said. By the way, when I just came up, were you going somewhere? Jiang Chen said he was going to pick up Xiao Zhao at the airport, and she came back today. Can I go with you? Liu Bang, the emperor of Han dynasty, asked. Of course, Xiao Zhao will be very happy. She still doesn't know that I met you last night, Jiang Chen said with a smile. From then on, as long as Liu Bang, the great ancestor of the Han dynasty, was in the mainland, there was nothing much going on in the bowling alley during the day. He would visit them almost every day, see Xiao Zhao, chat with Jiang Chen, and sometimes he would go to Liu Ligan's place. Two people were sitting in the office, opening a bottle of wine, and chatting while drinking. Jiang Chen and Liu Ligan always thought of calling him when they were drinking. After all, Liu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, was a member of society. After getting acquainted with each other, Jiang Chen and Liu Ligan discovered that although the emperor of the Han dynasty was older, they were the same, but his temperament was the same as theirs. Sometimes, he was a little more childish than theirs, which was really fun. The houses of Erhuo and Laotan were renovated. Erhuo moved from the dormitory, and Laotan also returned home from the hospital. On this day, Xiao Zhao suggested that they have a fire in the eldest brother's house so that everyone could get together and have fun. One time, Jiang Chen and He Hongmei both agreed. That afternoon, Xiao Zhao, Tan Shehen, and He Hongmei went there early to prepare. At around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Liu Bang, the great ancestor of the Han dynasty, came with Zhou Yaqian, carrying a lot of seafood. This was early in the morning, and he went to Longshan specifically. Xiang Qiao bought it. He said he wanted to show off his skills tonight. The good thing about Taipei is that you can find delicacies from all over China. If you eat it for a year, you won't be able to taste the same thing, said Han Emperor Liu Bang and Xiao Zhao Tan Shehen. Why? Xiao Zhao asked. After losing the battle on the mainland, there were no officers and soldiers who fled to Taipei. They were homesick and couldn't come back. They could only get some food to satisfy their cravings. Plus those family members, there was nothing else to do in Taipei. In order to supplement their family income, many opened restaurants and moved their home-cooked dishes to the stores, which would attract many fellow villagers to patronize them. Liu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, said. Several people prepared a table full of dishes. At 5 o'clock, Liu Ligan and Xiao Wu arrived almost at the same time as Jiang Chen and Yi Arguo. Everyone sat down and the table was full. Liu Bang, the founder of the Han dynasty, met Laotan for the first time today. When he found out that Laotan had been a soldier and a regiment-level cadre, he made sure to toast Laotan. Liu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, told Laotan that I can't defeat you on the battlefield, so I want to save some face at the wine table. Have you ever been a soldier? Laotan asked. In Taiwan, all men have served as soldiers and have to perform military service. Liu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, said, I am still a child in a military village. Laotan understood, that is to say, there was a reason why Han Emperor Liu Bang said he couldn't defeat you on this battlefield. His father's generation was defeated by the People's Liberation Army. Laotan and Liu Bang, the great ancestor of the Han dynasty, drank it all in one gulp and wanted to come again. Xiao Zhao persuaded him, brother, you have just been discharged from the hospital. Liu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, asked Lao Tan why he was hospitalized. Zhang Chen told him that he had a fall and was in the orthopedics department. That's okay, brother. Tan Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, patted his left chest and said to Lao Tan, I've broken 3 of them here. Okay, come on, let's drink. If I let you sit at the wine table, you won't get any advantage. Lao Tan shouted. What else did Xiao Zhao want to say? Zhang Chen whispered to her, it's okay, I'm happy, let them drink. Unexpectedly, as soon as these 2 people started drinking, even Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan were dumbfounded, and they automatically stopped and retreated from the formation. Zhang Chen thought about the day he ate mutton chops. With the amount of alcohol that Han Emperor Jiaozu had, could he drink him up and vomit him into a mess? Unscientific. Zhang Chen looked at He Hongmei suspiciously, and He Hongmei was laughing. Thank you Tin Soldier and On the Shore 131 for the reward. Thank you Tao Yang for your monthly ticket. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all a happy mood. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 832. After Lao Tan was discharged from the hospital, he arrived so late for the party last night. Early this morning, before Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao went to the company, he ran to Zhang Chen's house and told Zhang Chen that he wanted to talk to him about work. You can't just stay at home doing nothing, people will treat you badly. Zhang Chen said, okay, brother, you can come to my office in the afternoon and take a look at my place. I will call the pole over and we can discuss it together. Lao Tan said yes. Zhang Chen called Lu Ligan, and Lu Ligan said yes, I will come over for lunch and order more good dishes. The stir-fried dishes in your canteen are good. At about 1 o'clock, Lao Tan walked into Zhang Chen's office. He told Zhang Chen that he had actually been here a long time ago. He had lunch downstairs and the second-hand guy accompanied him around the entire market. This place is really good. Big, my head is spinning. Come on, Lao Tan, come here quickly. Lu Ligan stood in front of the window and greeted Lao Tan. Lao Tan walked over. Lu Ligan pointed to the other side of the canal and said, look, Lao Tan, that's my project there. How about it? Are those 3 buildings? Right. How many layers are you going to build? 32, I dare not go any higher. Any higher will be a super high-rise building, Lu Ligan said. Not bad, Lao Tan patted Lu Ligan on the shoulder and said, it seems like you have turned over. The 3 of them sat down on the sofa. Zhang Chen said, brother, what are your thoughts now? If you still want to open your own company, then go ahead and open your own company. I support you. However, you can no longer do what you did in Haikan. Your body will not be able to bear it. Lao Tan smiled and said, how can you run a good company if you don't do that? No company has competition. It is not a bloody road. However, I told you last time that I have lost my enthusiasm and can't run it anymore. I'll just be honest, get a part-time job. Zhang Chen nodded, what do you want to do? I'm fine in whatever I do. Don't let me be like you. I just sit in the office every day. I'll get suffocated. Let's do this, Lao Tan. Lu Ligan said, Zhang Chen doesn't have any suitable jobs here. All the work here is done by women. Either you come to my place and set up a decoration department under my company, you become the manager. For all my projects, the civil construction has been completed, and there are also decoration parts, including the garden landscaping of the community. Because it is an internal department of the company, the pressure and workload are not as great as yours before, and you don't have to deal with any party A. You are also good at this part of the work, and you need to go to the construction site frequently, so you won't be locked in the office all day long. Inside. I have a bad temper, Lao Tan said. Lu Ligan smiled and said, I know that you, Lao Tan, have a bad temper. It's not just a day or 2, so I don't need you to tell me. You are not afraid that it is easy to invite gods but difficult to send them away, Lao Tan continued. It doesn't matter. The worst I can do is fight with you. Just you, Lao Tan shook his head, it's not that I underestimate you. It's okay. The worst I can do is I'll get a beating. It's fine if you, old Tan, let go. If you beat me to death, you, old Tan, won't be able to do that, Lu Ligan shouted. Lao Tan also laughed and said, yes, if you can stand my bad temper, I will go to your place to do it. What do you think? Lu Ligan asked Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen thought about it, this is indeed the best arrangement. Otherwise, here, the eldest brother does not know design, does not know women's clothing, and does not know how to sell clothes. The only suitable option for him would be to work as a security captain in the market below. And Lu Ligan really needs such a person, especially for his splendid Jiangnan and Peach Blossom Spring projects. For the eldest brother, these are also his profession, and he is familiar with them. Zhang Chen nodded, and he said, yes, let's arrange it like this. When can I go to work? Lao Tan asked. I have been lying in the hospital for several months, and my bones are covered with maggots. Lu Ligan said, it will be okay tomorrow. Okay, then I will report to your Mr. Lu tomorrow. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan were relieved when Lao Tan accepted the position of decoration department manager. They knew Lao Tan's temper. Since he accepted this position, he would definitely perform his duties conscientiously and would not neglect his duties. Let alone give up his choice halfway, so that he can probably settle down. Lao Tan left Zhang Chen's office and walked to the next door. After saying hello to Xiao Zhao, he went back first. Xiao Zhao came to Zhang Chen's office and asked them, has the eldest brother's work been implemented? Zhang Chen said yes, he would go to Ganzi and become the manager of the decoration department. Are you still doing decoration? Xiao Zhao was surprised. This one is different from his original one. The most tiring part of the original one was accepting business and dealing with party A. In this one, there is no party A. All the eldest brother has to take care of is the workers below, which is a bit similar to the work that second-hand workers used to do. Zhang Chen explained. Is the bastard here? Let him follow me, Lu Ligan said. Zhang Chen asked, what are you going for? Let's get a car for Lao Tan. He has to commute to get off work every day, and he has to run across here and to the Peach Blossom Spring. Without a car, how can he walk so far away? Lu Ligan said. Let's buy the, Xiao Zhao said. No, he works at my place, so of course I'll be the one to match him. I'm thinking about what car to match, Lu Ligan said. He will definitely not want it if it's too good, Zhang Chen said. I know my brother well. Even if you give him a good car, he will park it at the company and would rather squeeze into the bus by himself. Holy shit, he turns out to be driving a Mercedes-Benz. It's different. He used to be the boss of the company, and his big money didn't cost much. Now he's the department manager under you. If you give him special treatment, he won't accept it. In short, he starts his car cannot exceed Fan Jiangguos. Lu Ligan asked, how about Cherokee? How much? Zhang Chen asked. It's about the same as Santana. The ordinary one costs more than 150,000 yuan, and the EFI one costs more than 180,000 yuan, Lu Ligan said. Zhang Chen shook his head, I think it's too expensive. What should I do? There are no cheaper ones anymore. I can't drive a Xiaoli like Xiao Zhao. It's not convenient for Xiaoli to go to the construction site. Zhang Chen said, it's better to call the second-rate guy here and ask. Xiao Zhao withheld the second product. After a while, the second product came. Zhang Chen told him that his eldest brother agreed to go to work at Ganza's place. He was the manager of the decoration department and needed to travel to construction sites frequently. Ganza wanted to equip him with a car. Which car should it match? Of course it's a Jeep, otherwise it would be inconvenient to go to the construction site. The second guy slapped himself in the mouth and said. Xiao Zhao and Lu Ligan knew what he was doing and both laughed. I think so too, Lu Ligan said. How about a Cherokee? No, that idiot Jeep. The idiot shook his head. What the hell, a Cherokee isn't a Jeep. Military green is the only one that counts as a Jeep. It comes with a Beijing Jeep 2020. My Uncle Tan likes it best. He used to be in the army and drove this one. I'll go, that car doesn't even have air conditioning. It's so hot in Hainan that you can drive it, but there's no need for it in Hangzhou, Huo said. How much does this car cost? Zhang Chen asked. Lu Ligan sighed, about 50 to 60,000, as I often see in the past, used by the army. The hood is made of military green canvas. I think the second-hand guy is right. This car is suitable. My eldest brother may not want any other car, Zhang Chen said. Let's go, I'll go shopping with you. I told my Uncle Tan that I picked it for him and he will definitely like it, Huo said to Lu Ligan. The two of them stood up and walked out. After Lu Ligan and Huo left, Xiao Zhao was sitting there. She looked outside the door, then looked at Zhang Chen and asked, is Sister Shahan's ex-husband's surname Feng? Zhang Chen laughed, of course, Feng Xiangnan's surname is Feng. Isn't her father's surname Feng? Xiao Zhao also laughed, how could I forget this? What's wrong, why do you think of asking this? It's nothing. I heard someone talking about this the other day, saying that Nanan's father turns out to be good friends with you and the Pole. Yes, we are in the same group, and we are the only ones of about the same age. We are all good friends, like Xiao Wu and Xiao Jin, who are younger than us and graduated from the student class in the group. On the contrary, we treat them like little brats. Then how could Sister Shahan and Zhangzi be so bad? How could she be on good terms with Nanan's father? Zhang Chen shook his head, I don't know the specifics. We were in Haikan at that time, and Tan Shahan didn't seem willing to talk more about these things. It's hard for me to ask. Xiao Zhao nodded. What's wrong with you? Why do you care about these old things today? Zhang Chen asked curiously. It's nothing, really. I just listened to what people said, and when I was curious, I asked. Xiao Zhao said. Is there anyone in the store talking about it? Tell them to stop talking nonsense. Zhang Chen thought to himself that it must have been the last time Wang Linghua went to the store to make a fuss. Those people below heard the gossip and would inevitably discuss it in private. No, it has nothing to do with the store, Xiao Zhao said quickly. Is that Zheng Huiyang's place? Zhang Chen remembered that they had half an acre of land and now had a specialty store in Yongcheng. Zheng Huiyang and the others would contact Yongcheng every day. People from Yongcheng would sometimes go to the factory. If they had some gossip, they would inevitably come from past this way. Don't we all like to spread these the most? No, oh, I just asked casually, and you pretend I didn't say anything. Xiao Zhao stood up and walked out. Zhang Chen sat there and thought for a while, and then didn't bother to think about it anymore. It was just a big deal. Whoever wanted to talk, let them talk. Zhang Chen felt that just a few sentences reached Tan Shahan's ears. She probably wouldn't mind either. Ever since Wang Linghua came to the store and made trouble, she should have been mentally prepared for this. If not, she, Tan Shahan, would no longer be Tan Shahan. Zhang Chen stood up and walked to the design center next door. Ji Ling came over with 2 pieces of fabric and said, Mr. Zhang, what do you think of using this fabric to make summer clothes? Sent from Zhang Jiegang, Zhang Chen reached out and touched it and asked, is this Rami? Yes, I think this fabric is lighter and more colorful than linen, Ji Ling said. Zhang Chen lifted the fabric to look at it and said to Ji Ling, but you have to consider whether it will be too see-through if you make summer clothes. Can be lined. If you add a lining, you have to consider several points. Zhang Chen said, first, What material to use for the lining? If you use chemical fiber, two different materials have different shrinkage rates. Will they deform over time? Secondly, people buy linen materials just for the breathability and hemp texture when they are skin-to-skin contact. If you add a chemical fiber lining, it makes no sense for people to buy linen materials. Thirdly, if the lining is also made of linen, then the two layers of linen, as you mentioned, being light and thin is no longer an advantage, and the only advantage is the bright color. How you balance these relationships, how you choose and deal with them, is the most important thing. You should think more about this aspect. Okay, Mr. Zhang Ji Ling nodded. Thank you for the reward for reading every day. Thanks to Yuju, Yehung, Tianying 1978, and WXD 121 for their monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 833. Starting from the south, the sales of Zhang Chen's specialty stores suddenly began to increase significantly. The earlier the weather gets warmer, the more obvious this trend will be. Zhang Chen arrived at Zheng Huiyang's distribution center and asked Zheng Huiyang if it was because they came early during the peak season. Zheng Huiyang said, "It's not just that. I compared the data with last year. The sales of the same store in the same period this year are higher than last year, much better too." "Oh, have you understood the reason?" Zhang Chen asked. He knew that Zheng Huiyang was a careful person and would not let it go after seeing such data. "I have learned about it. One is of course that our prices this year are generally more expensive than last year. The second is that people now have more money than last year and dare to buy clothes. The other is that the quality of our clothes is good and the shape is good, of course, and the style is good," Zheng Huiyang said. Zhang Chen became interested and said, "We can't decide the big economic climate. Please tell us the reasons for our own products." "Well, okay, Mr. Zhang," Zheng Huiyang said, "I contacted many stores, and more than one store told me that many customers who had not come for months and half a year came back to our store to buy clothes. They said that it is better to wear our store's clothes. Now there are too many specialty stores. They have been to some stores and bought clothes. Those clothes look good, but when they wear them, they don't look as good as they look on them. Some clothes were in good condition when I bought them, but after I bought them and washed them once, they were no longer that good. Moreover, they felt either uncomfortable here or too tight there. In short, there were always problems like this, and threads were still there. There are many, but I don't trim them myself when I buy them, so I don't dare to wear them, for fear of being laughed at. Our clothes are just the opposite. They come in many styles and may look inconspicuous, but when you wear them, they look better than they look and are very comfortable. Moreover, you never have to worry about threads." Zhang Chen nodded. "This is the pre-treatment of the fabric, which is different from the pattern and workmanship. Have you told Director Zhao about it?" "I have said it, Mr. Zhang." Director Zhao is very happy to hear this. "I will tell Director Zhao immediately if there is any reaction below." "Yes, Zheng Huiyang, you did a good job," Zhang Chen said. "Also, not only do you want to hear about our good things, but also those who reflect on our clothing problems, you also need to listen more and record them. I will come to see them later. These bad records, okay." "Okay, Mr. Zhang. Also, for those who reported problems, you need to tell Director Zhao about these problems and ask him to make corrections immediately. This alone is not enough. After the corrections are made, you must take the initiative to contact the stores that reported these problems and tell them where we have improved. So that people feel that their response has been taken seriously, and they will respond more positively next time." "Well, Mr. Zhang, what you said makes sense. The kind of store I'm most afraid of is that there's obviously something wrong with the clothes, and the customer has made a lot of comments, but he pretends not to have heard them, and throws the clothes aside, thinking, I can exchange them anyway, then I'll replace them. Just go back to the factory. That's right, Mr. Zhang, and we don't know anything yet and are still producing. Yes, you said it well, Zheng Huiyang. What we fear most is this. We sell clothes every day, but we ourselves have become blind and can't see anything. Your distribution center must not only distribute goods, but also become the company's eyes and ears. If there is any movement below, you must be able to hear and see it and respond in time. Zheng Huiyang nodded, I remember, Mr. Zhang. What's the reaction below? They responded that there are many brands that are following our example, but although we are a little more expensive than them, we are still better than them, Zheng Huiyang said. Why? The fabric, the workmanship, and most importantly, some of them are still imitating our original styles, but we have changed. Our clothes now feel very fashionable and popular even though they are made of cotton and linen. Oh, which styles? Zheng Huiyang took 2 forms, handed them to Zhang Chen, and said to him, these are the sales rankings of each style we have calculated. Mr. Zhang, take a look. Zhang Chen took it over and looked at it. The sales quantity of each style was densely written on it. Zhang Chen was surprised when he saw a few styles at the top. He clearly remembered that they should be designed by Ji Ling. Can you give me this? Zhang Chen asked Zheng Huiyang. Certainly. By the way, Zheng Huiyang, tell me about yourselves. Do you have any needs here? Zhang Chen asked. Mr. Zhang, we need a printer, someone called from the side. Printer, what is it? Zhang Chen asked. That is, you can print things out directly from the computer, Zheng Huiyang said. In other words, you no longer need to copy forms like this by hand, Zhang Chen asked. Right. Can I buy it? Zhang Chen asked, this printer you are talking about. Yes. In the past, they were only imported and cost more than 20,000 yuan. Now, there is a company in Beijing called Lenovo. They have a new one, but it is also very expensive, Zheng Huiyang said. How much? More than 10,000. Go buy it immediately, Zhang Chen said. As soon as they heard that Zhang Chen agreed to buy the printer, everyone in the distribution center became excited. Indeed, with the printer, their workload will be greatly reduced. Zheng Huiyang, let me tell you, I want your distribution center to be the eyes and ears of our company, then we have to protect our eyes and ears. Whatever you need to add here, we will give priority to equip it. I am not very good in this aspect. Understand, if you have any needs, just ask them boldly. In this regard, you have to learn from him. Zhang Chen pointed to the front and said, the man who needed a printer said, and everyone laughed. Zheng Huiyang nodded and said, okay, Mr. Zhang, I read that there is information that a company in the United States will launch a Chinese version of a new operating system this year called Windows 95. Can we order one? You can do it if you think you need it. By the way, I'll learn it too. Tell me, what is an operating system? Zhang Chen asked. It is a computer program that can manage the software and hardware in the computer, Zheng Huiyang said. Zhang Chen listened with only a vague understanding. He felt that if he listened like this, he would only become more and more confused. He knew that hardware can be seen and touched, and software is installed in the computer. It can be seen but not touched, but he knew what the program was. I no longer know. Zhang Chen patted the computer in front of Zheng Huiyang and said to her, just tell me what will happen to this computer if it is installed with what you said. Zheng Huiyang thought for a while and said, what you see now are all numbers, in black and white. After installing that operating system, the computer you see is a picture, and you can see all the software in the computer. Think about it. Whichever one you use, You just click and you can enter. Does it mean that even people like me who don't know anything about computers can use computers? Zhang Chen asked. Yes, you can say that. Zheng Huiyang nodded. Buy it, then we will buy it. But it's also very expensive, about 5 to 6,000. Zhang Chen waved his hand and said to Zheng Huiyang, have you forgotten what I told you before? Zheng Huiyang and everyone else in the distribution center laughed. Zheng Huiyang said, yeah, I understand, Mr. Zhang. How is the supply situation now? Zhang Chen asked. It's not on the market yet. Zheng Huiyang said, realizing that Zhang Chen was not asking about the supply situation of Windows 95, but the supply situation of their own distribution center. Zheng Huiyang smiled shyly and said quickly, I'm very nervous, everywhere. When we are urging the goods, the workers work overtime until very late every day, and they are almost overwhelmed. Zhang Chen nodded and understood. Zhang Chen left the distribution center, walked to the office building, and walked to Zhao Zhigang's office. The door of the office was open, but Zhao Zhigang was not seen. Zhang Chen asked the finance manager of the office next to him, where had Zhao Zhigang gone? He was here just now. He may have gone to the canteen. The chief executive was looking for him in front of him, finance said to Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen was about to walk to the cafeteria when he saw Zhao Zhigang coming out of the cafeteria. When he saw Zhang Chen, he said to him from afar, no one wants to be the supervisor of the cafeteria now. Why? Zhang Chen asked. I was scolded to death and refused to take the job, Zhao Zhigang said with a smile. As you said at the time, now the workers no longer scold the canteen, they are scolding the supervisors. When the old man heard that no one wanted to be a supervisor, he was still anxious. Run to me. Zhang Chen smiled and said, then why don't you hurry up and make arrangements for him? No one wants to be kidnapped. What can I do? I can't tie someone up. Idiot, if you double the subsidy, doesn't that mean someone is cheated? There must be brave men under the heavy reward, Zhang Chen scolded. Yes, Zhao Zhigang smiled, but if everyone doesn't grab it, it will be troublesome. If there are many people who want to be elected, just vote. If you can't draw lots, there are many ways. He, is this really okay? Zhao Zhigang said with a smile. Of course. Then I'll go talk to them right away. Come back to my office, I have something to tell you. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. Zhao Zhigang waved and ran towards the building opposite. Zhang Chen returned to his office, sat down, and took out the form that Zheng Huiyang gave him before. He blushed as he looked at it. He saw that the styles he designed were ranked 6th and among the top 5. There are 3 styles designed by Ji Ling and 2 styles designed by He Hongmei. Unexpectedly, this Ji Ling has become their chief designer without knowing it, and he has always regarded her as a newbie who just joined the company. What makes Zhang Chen ashamed the most is himself, who has obviously regressed. Think about it, how much energy and thought do you have to devote to design every day? Do you feel relaxed now that there is no pressure? Although Zhang Chen didn't want to admit it, but thinking about it carefully, he had to admit that it was still like this. He thought about how he was busy every day, but most of the things he did had nothing to do with design, and many of them had nothing to do with the company. Sometimes in the office, when a person sat down to think about something to design, it seemed that he was just trying to complete a task. When I squeezed it out and designed it, I felt it was raw and dry. The most important thing is that Zhang Chen feels that he is no longer as sensitive and creative as before. Thinking like this, Zhang Chen scared himself into a cold sweat. Thank you for the reward from reading books and doll tin soldiers every day. Thank you Cup Guy API for your monthly ticket. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 834. Zhang Chen sat there blankly until Zhao Zhigang came in, and then he woke up. Zhang Chen asked, Do you think I have regressed? Zhao Zhigang was puzzled by Zhang Chen's meaningless words. Zhao Zhigang asked, "What did you say?" Zhao Zhigang, "Let me ask you, have I regressed?" Zhang Chen said, "Am I no longer working as hard as when I first started?" Zhao Zhigang thought for a while and said to Zhang Chen, "No, you are more like a boss." "Oh, what do you say?" Zhang Chen asked. "When you come to the factory now, you just look around, look here and there, walk around and then leave. It seems that you are here to complete your boss's task. New workers who don't know you will ask the old workers if our boss is. It was very impressive. The old workers told them, no, the boss was very nice. He used to cook for us and work with us, but the new workers didn't believe it." Zhao Zhigang said. Zhang Chen then remembered how he felt like a world of ice and fire in the factory. Someone called his boss very affectionately. When Zhang Chen turned around, he must have seen an old worker. Zhang Chen also can call her or him by name, stop or walk over, and make a joke or two with her or him. There were many workers walking around when they saw him. He went to the cafeteria to eat. When he sat down, there were workers around him. Some workers would sit opposite him with bowls in their hands and ask him about the hot sauce he brought from home. "Boss, do you want it?" As soon as he heard this, Zhang Chen knew that he was an old worker. Zhang Chen used to ask for hot sauce everywhere when eating. If someone brought delicious hot sauce, Zhang Chen would directly call her, "Hurry, hurry, go give me some of your hot sauce." When some workers saw him, they quickly turned their heads away, pretending not to see him, or burying their heads and eating their own food in a hurry. Sometimes Zhang Chen felt strange. It turned out that in the eyes of the workers, he already had such a big problem. Difference. "What else?" Zhang Chen asked Zhao Zhigang. "Also, you are in the factory now. No matter how urgent the production tasks are, you don't seem to be in a hurry anymore. It turns out that you are in the factory, and when you see that you are busy, you will help with packaging. No one is ordering buttons, so you will sit in front of the button tacking machine or the cutting bed. If there are not enough people to pull the cloth, you will help pull the cloth. Anyway, when the work is very tight, you will not leave until the batch of work is completed." "Is it good or not?" Zhang Chen asked. "It's good or bad, but the distance between you and the workers has been shortened." Zhao Zhigang said that Zhang Chen remembered the story of Wu Qi that Lu Ligan told when he and Xiao Wu had dinner that day, so he said that he looked like Wu Qi at that time. "The bad thing is, it feels a bit too casual. The workers are not afraid of you, unlike the boss. Now the new workers are afraid of you. If you stand behind a worker and watch her work, the worker will panic and do something wrong." Zhao Zhigang said that Zhang Chen thought that he was more like an emperor now, with more majesty, or in other words, like Wang Yaoe, who would rather see the king of hell than touch the old king. Wang Yaoe, who was famous for his strict military discipline, was not just in appearance. Wang Yaoe and Zhang Chen themselves didn't know. "Tell me again, how am I doing now?" Zhang Chen and Zhao Zhigang said. "Now, you just ask, and then say hurry up, and then go back to the office. After a while, if you have anything to do, you just leave. It seems that even if you can't rush out this batch of work, it doesn't matter," Zhao Zhigang said. "Damn it, I trusted you and knew you would definitely get out," Zhang Chen scolded. "Yes and no, in fact, you just can't sit still in the factory. Do you think the time you spend in the factory now is getting less and less?" Zhang Chen was speechless. He wanted to argue that he used to live here, so of course he spent a lot of time here. He also wanted to argue that it turned out that the design center was here, so of course he spent a lot of time here. But Zhang Chen didn't say anything. He felt that whatever he said had weak reasons. Zhao Zhigang at least hit his mark with one sentence, which was that he couldn't sit still in the factory. This is really the case. Many times, there is nothing going on Stadium Road, but Zhang Chen will rush there from Sanbao. Even if there is nothing, he seems to be willing to sit in the office over there. Calculating the time, it is true that he rarely stays in the Sanbao factory for more than 2 hours now. From the beginning, he stayed in the factory all day, and then every night, he would definitely stay in the factory. Then I must come to the factory twice a day, once every 2 days, and now I basically come every 3 or 4 days. However, to be honest, Zhang Chen felt that if he was asked to come to the factory once a day and sit here for a few hours, it would be just sitting. He really had nothing to do. Everything in the factory was normal. A more normal enterprise would seem to there is no need for a boss. Only companies that have problems every day need bosses to go to the front line of fire and put out fires everywhere. Zhang Chen didn't know whether this was the case. Then tell me, which one is better? Zhang Chen was a little confused and asked Zhao Zhigang. Zhao Zhigang sighed and said, the factory is big. If you are asked to do what you did before, you won't be able to do it. If you do it, you will be exhausted. I will take care of the things here. If I can't take care of it, just ask me to hold you accountable. Then what do I need to do? Just give me some snacks. Just snacks? What do you mean? Do you know that the production tasks in the factory are very tight right now, and goods are being rushed everywhere? Zhao Zhigang asked. I came to you just to talk about this. Zhao Zhigang chuckled, oh, what are you going to talk about? You are a dead man. The task is tight. You don't know how to expand production and recruit people, Zhang Chen cursed. Zhao Zhigang didn't answer and stared at him. Zhang Chen was annoyed by him and said, okay, I know I told you that recruitment will be strictly controlled this year, but doesn't this mean the plan can't keep up with changes? Moreover, Zhao Zhigang, don't think that I don't know, you are still recruiting. We've only hired more than 20 people, Zhao Zhigang said. They are all relatives of the old workers. We recruited them to take care of them. Okay, then tell me, why don't you recruit me now? Boss, you really can't remember. Whatever you think about, tell me. I've called you twice about recruiting people. Have you called me? Zhang Chen asked curiously. One time when you were drinking, I called you and told you that the tasks in the factory are very tight now. You said, I know, and we will talk about it when I get to the factory tomorrow. Zhao Zhigang said, it took 2 days for you to come, and I'm here, I'm not here, I'm back, you're gone. Zhang Chen couldn't remember this phone call at all. What about another time? Zhang Chen asked. Another time, when you were in Nanjing and I called you, you told me, okay, I will go to the factory when I get back and we will discuss this matter, Zhao Zhigang said. Zhang Chen vaguely remembered this call. When Zhao Zhigang called, he was looking at Suanwu Lake outside, feeling troubled. Boss, how many days have you been back from Nanjing? Don't you know that I've been waiting for you? If you told me on the phone, you can arrange it, I will start recruiting. You told me to wait for you to discuss, I won't wait for you. Is that so? I have already prepared that if you don't come today, I will go to Stadium Road to find you tomorrow, Zhao Zhigang said. Damn it, Zhang Chen understood what Zhao Zhigang meant when he said he was served some snacks. You don't know, I just said it casually, Zhang Chen cursed. You are the boss, and if you say anything casually, it is an imperial edict here, don't you know? Zhao Zhigang looked at Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen was stunned. Zhao Zhigang smiled and said, don't worry, boss, I can't wait any longer. I have made up my mind to kill first and then show off. It's up to you to kill or behead. I informed the workers below yesterday, and asked them to notify their fellow villagers and relatives that those who want to come to our factory should seize the opportunity to come. The first batch will arrive this evening. Boss, can we discuss recruiting workers now? Zhao Zhigang asked. Zhao Zhigang looked at Zhang Shenil, and Zhang Chen cursed, damn it, Zhao Zhigang, don't you think I'll handle it with military law? Zhao Zhigang said, okay, then take out the military law first. Do you have it, boss? Zhang Chen was stunned again. Many things are changing quietly like this. When you think nothing has changed, in fact everything is changing. The size of the company and factory is slowly getting bigger. You thought it was still the same factory and company. However, whether you go to a factory, to the market, or to a store, you can no longer recognize everyone in every place. There are more and more new faces, which means you are getting bigger. Not only the size of the company and factory, but also the people are changing. This makes Zhang Chen happy. Zhao Zhigang is no longer the shy tailor, Ge Ling can now take the lead, and Tan Shuhen is more like a qualified manager. Instead of the troop star standing between the camphor and tallow trees, babbling and singing. As for himself, in Zhao Zhigang's words, he is becoming more and more like a boss. Whether it is good or bad, Zhao Zhigang can't tell, and Zhang Chen himself can't figure it out. Wu Qi can lead troops to fight and win many battles, and Wang Yao can also lead the soldiers fought and won many battles. Zhang Chen couldn't figure out whose method was better. But one thing is for sure, that is what Zhao Zhigang said, you have to be careful. Being prepared means to think about it even when you can't think clearly. The result of thinking may not be that you will think things through clearly, but after that, when you think about it, you will find many problems. Brother Tan has a very good saying. He said that no company was born on a bloody road. Zhang Chen felt that he once was. When he and Zhao Zhigang rode a tricycle to Wanghaniao to pull fabrics under the summer sun, he used to be. There was a time when I would get up earlier than a chicken every morning before dawn, go to Zhao Zhigang to get clothes, tie bundles of clothes on my bicycle, and rush to the market as hard as I could. But now, it is definitely not the case. Now that I am too comfortable, will the comfortable person fight his way out, or will he fall on the road? Zhang Chen was driving, thinking as he drove, there was a bang, he crashed into the car, and at a red light in front of him, he rear-ended a Jinbei van. Fortunately, when he reached the intersection, he had already subconsciously slowed down. The driver in front and him got out of the car, and the other cars went around them. The driver in front had an angry look on his face. He got out of the car and wanted to have a good theory. Unexpectedly, Zhang Chen waved his hand when he saw him and said, my fault, I'm sorry, I was thinking about something and didn't pay attention. The driver's anger immediately disappeared and he muttered, it's so dangerous to think about something while driving. What if I hit someone? Yes, you're right, it's my fault. You shouldn't be thinking wildly while driving. The driver nodded and walked over to look at his car. The damage was not big. It seemed that the plexiglass outside the tail light was broken. He walked back to the cab, turned on the double jump, and walked back to take a look. The inside was not damaged, but the plexiglass outside was broken. The glass lampshade was broken. How much will it cost? I'll compensate you, Zhang Chen said. The driver thought for a moment and said, I'm not blackmailing you. I'll give you 400. In fact, it was better to turn it on high. 100 yuan would be enough to replace the lampshade. He waited for Zhang Chen to counter-offer and return the money to 300, which he could accept. Unexpectedly, Zhang Chen took out his wallet from his butt pocket. Took the 400 and handed it to him. The other party was so cheerful that the driver became suspicious and asked, are you afraid that the traffic police will come if you don't have a driver's license? Yes, the driver's license is in the car. I'll show it to you, Zhang Chen said quickly. The driver muttered, it's none of my business. He turned around and got into the car, started the car and left. Zhang Chen bent down and found the driver's license from the bucket in the middle of the driver's seat. After thinking about it, he also found the driving license. When he turned around, The car was gone. Zhang Chen shook his head. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 835. Zhang Chen drove along Huancheng North Road and passed the dynamic zone without stopping. He drove until the Red Sun Exhibition Hall in front, turned left, turned right at Stadium Road, and then turned left onto Yan'an Road. He drove to the Banmutian Women's Lifestyle flagship store and then stopped the car at the gate. Zhang Chen walked into Tan Shahen's office. When Tan Shahen saw him, she said angrily, "What are you doing here?" Zhang Chen smiled and said, "Tan Shahen, have you taken any medicine? I want to eat you, and I also want to take gunpowder." Tan Shahen scolded, "What I need now is goods, not you, Zhang Chen. You can't sell them. What the hell are you saying your factory is doing? Our companies own the store can't even replenish the goods, the salesperson below is crying, and Director Zhao and I have had several quarrels. Do you think he deliberately refused to send us the goods?" Only then did Zhang Chen know why Tan Shahen was angry. Zhang Chen quickly said, "It's really not the case. Zhao's Higang is not that chicken-hearted. He is used to being scolded by people who want goods. I just came from the factory, and the factory also out of stock. Then what does his factory director do? Why don't you know how to arrange production earlier if you don't have the goods?" Tan Shahen was still indignant. I blame me for not showing up at the factory in the past few days and not asking him to recruit people," Zhang Chen said. Tan Shahen shook her head. "I don't know what you do all day long, Zhang Chen, then tell me when the supply of goods can be guaranteed. It should be soon. We are already recruiting workers today. The factory's ability to expand production is still very strong. You didn't deal with me." "No, absolutely not. I don't care, Zhang Chen. I gave an ultimatum to factory director Zhao. If he doesn't replenish the goods tomorrow and the delivery truck comes, I will hold it back and prevent it from leaving," Tan Shahen said. Zhang Chen laughed. "You're still laughing, do you think I'm joking?" Tan Shahen scolded. "No more, I'll sit in his office and won't leave. Also, the franchise stores below are also complaining, please be more careful, Zhang Chen." Zhang Chen looked at Tan Shahen and asked, "Are you familiar? What's good? Everyone I met today made me feel more at ease, and so did Zhao's Higang. This is not simple. It shows that you really don't care. Zhang Chen, when I came here, you complained to me, saying that making clothes depends on the sky. Then you said that the weather has changed in half a month. What are you doing? If farmers are like you, they won't be able to grow rice to eat, right?" Tan Shahen said, while Zhang Chen remained silent. Next, Zhang Chen asked about the situation in the store. What he learned from Tan Shahen was similar to what Zheng Huiyang said. It seems that the chaotic situation in the clothing industry last year is now starting to get better. Those who were fooled by the 100% exchange rate have probably woken up after almost a year. The exchange rate is not the king of clothing. Some people buy it. Your clothing is king. Zhang Chen returned to Stadium Road from Tan Shahen. As soon as he entered the office, He Hongmei followed him in. Zhang Chen said, "Don't talk to me about the goods." "Okay," He Hongmei said, "then I'll let He Dongmei call you." He Hongmei said and prepared to go out. Zhang Chen quickly shouted, come back, you better tell me." "Shall I tell you?" He Hongmei sat down opposite Zhang Chen and said to him. "What I'm telling you is, I grabbed the goods at Sijiking for 2 days. I didn't go to the factory. He Dongmei made up more than 600 pieces. The factory actually only sent 2 small packages with 82 pieces of clothes. Do you have any? For this reason, the clothes I designed myself can't be replaced." He Dongmei scolded me, and I don't know who to scold. Scold me, Zhang Chen said. He Hongmei stared at Zhang Chen, sighed and said, "Forget it, Sister Shahen and I have made an appointment. We will go to the factory in the evening. No goods are allowed to be shipped anywhere until we are satisfied. What? You made an appointment with Tan Shahen? Why didn't she say anything when I was at her place? Zhang Chen asked. He Hongmei knew she had made a mistake, so she quickly said, I didn't say it, and I didn't say it either. You are not allowed to tip off Zhao's Higang. Sister Shahen said there was going to be a surprise attack. If you tip off the tip, I will fall out with you. Let He Dongmei beat me, Zhang Chen said with a smile. He Hongmei glared at him. Okay, I will definitely not get involved in your affairs. That's all. I want to ask you about Ji Ling. You just thought of asking now. What's the meaning? She is also your apprentice. You should have discovered that she is very powerful. He Hongmei said that Zhang Chen cursed himself in his heart, saying that he really didn't have any long-term intentions. Tell me what's going on with her, Zhang Chen said to He Hongmei. He took out the form he took from Zheng Huiyang, handed it to He Hongmei, and said to her, my master, have been you were beaten to death with sticks. He Hongmei took the form and looked at it, laughing. I thought only Chongqing was like this, but it turned out that it was like this everywhere. He Hongmei put down the form in her hand, looked at Zhang Chen and said, she is very similar to you. What's the meaning? Unlike us who came out of school, we don't have so many rules in our minds, but if you give her 2 towels, she can also design a very beautiful dress, He Hongmei and Zhang Chen said. Zhang Chen walked into the design center. There were more than 20 workstations and more than 20 designers in the design center. Ji Ling's seat was in the corner. He Hongmei and Zhang Chen said that she picked it herself. Zhang Chen walked over. Ji Ling was lowering her head and drawing something. Zhang Chen walked behind her and stopped. Ji Ling was designing a piece of clothing. What was different from others was that when she was designing, she had to draw the entire person, including the head and limbs. Her drawing speed was very similar to Zhang Chen's, it was really fast. Zhang Chen stood there, and Ji Ling happened to have finished a painting. She raised the painting. Zhang Chen looked at the people in the painting, who looked familiar. Ji Ling stared at the painting, murmured to herself, and imitated a man. Voice, Scarlett, you are so beautiful today. Then a female voice said, thank you, Enming. As soon as you hear it, you will know which novel or TV series it should be from. He Hongmei, who was standing not far behind Zhang Chen, couldn't help laughing. Ji Ling turned around and saw Zhang Chen standing behind her, her face turned red and she quickly stood up. Mr. Zhang, Ji Ling called. Zhang Chen nodded and asked, what are you drawing? Ji Ling picked up the manuscript and handed it to Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen looked at it and asked, what fabric was used? Just use the 2 pieces of fabric I showed you yesterday, Ji Ling said. Rami? Has Taru's problem been solved? Ji Ling nodded. How to solve it? Mr. Zhang, you are right. I tried it and found that using lining is not ideal. I finally decided not to use it. What about Toru's problem? I'm using embroidery, printing, or splicing a piece of dark-colored fabric on sensitive areas. In this way, the light, breathable, and bright-colored fabric features are still retained, but it doesn't look too see-through. Yes, show me the sample clothes after they come out, Zhang Chen said. Okay, Mr. Zhang. Zhang Chen saw that other people stopped what they were doing and looked at them curiously. Zhang Chen said, Ji Ling, come to my office and bring the works you designed this year. After Zhang Chen finished speaking, he turned around and left. He Hongmei stayed there, helping Ji Ling choose works. After a while, Ji Ling and He Hongmei walked into Zhang Chen's office. Zhang Chen asked them to sit on the sofa, and he walked over and sat down. Ji Ling handed a binder to Zhang Chen and said to him, Zhang Chen, anyway, this is what you want. Zhang Chen opened the binder and looked at the works inside one by one. He asked Ji Ling, "Did you have any reference materials for these works?" Ji Ling shook her head and said, "No, I rarely read fashion magazines for fear of being affected by the clothes in them." "What are your work habits like?" Zhang Chen asked curiously. "I just like reading books." "Xuemili?" Zhang Chen asked. "Xuemili, Senkai Lun, Yishu, there are many." Zhang Chen nodded. "When I was reading the book, I thought about what the people in it should be wearing." Zhang Chen remembered that he heard her talk about this last time. "But there is always no description of this aspect in the books, or they are written randomly." "How do you know?" Ji Ling smiled. "If you draw what they wrote in their books with a pen, it would be very ugly." Zhang Chen also laughed. "They are writers, not painters." "That's right, so when I read a book, I always have to draw the people in it. I also like to watch TV series, but I found that the people in the TV series would look better if they changed their clothes." "So you draw it too?" "Yes, I have liked painting like this since I was a child," Ji Ling said and sighed, "but I don't paint anymore." "Why?" "I'm working now. When I draw, I always imagine this person in our store. I have sold clothes there. I know what our store is like. So, when I draw, I always imagine her. No matter what kind of clothes you wear, you will look good in our store." Zhang Chen asked, "Is this the Scarlet you are talking about?" "I made up the name randomly," Ji Ling said, blushing again. "Why does that person look familiar to me?" Zhang Chen asked. "Oh, that's Sister Shahan," He Hongmei said from the side. When she said this, Zhang Chen remembered that it was true. Ji Ling said, "Sister Shahan is so beautiful. When I painted, I just imagined Sister Shahan wearing such clothes in the store." "Does Tan Shahan know?" Zhang Chen asked. "I don't know." Ji Ling shook her head. "Sister Shahan is very nice and helps me a lot. We chat every day and talk a lot." "Do you talk every day?" "Yes, Sister Shahan will tell me which guests are coming today, what kind of clothes they want to wear, what colors they like, what are the advantages and disadvantages of our clothes. Sister Shahan will tell me." Zhang Chen nodded. It seemed that Ji Ling's designs were all aimed at the market. No wonder her clothes are so popular. "Ji Ling, how about letting you be the chief designer and be in charge of the design center?" Zhang Chen asked. Ji Ling was startled and quickly shook her head. "No, no, no, Mr. Zhang. Why? I can only take care of myself, I can't take care of others." "You can do it, junior sister," He Hongmei said. "This design center is different from other places. You rely most on your ability to make a living. And if designers still need others to take care of them, they are definitely not qualified. In this way designers can be fired directly. The chief designer's main job is actually to determine the design tone of this design studio. You don't need to take care of many specific things." "Yes, He Hongmei is right. The most you can do is grasp the direction. If you feel that someone is going astray, correct them. If there is a bottleneck that cannot be overcome, help push them," Zhang Chen said. "Then she can be the one." Ji Ling pointed at He Hongmei and said. "She would have been the chief designer a long time ago. She is not an official employee of our company. I can't deduct her salary even if I want." "How can she be the chief designer?" Zhang Chen said. He Hongmei made a face at Zhang Chen and said to Ji Ling, "You can do it, junior sister. Don't worry. Although I'm not in the company, I'm there and will help you. You need to be braver. Thank you to the 1,000 Years of White Vote Party and Daily Reader for your rewards. Thank you for your monthly pass to Wonderful on the Road. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Niang. Chapter 836. Zhang Chen's big brother rang. Zhang Chen picked up the phone and a voice rang out. "Hello, Boss Zhang, how is business now?" The voice seemed familiar. Zhang Chen thought for a moment and then remembered that it was the original client of Beijing Zoo, their former general agent in Beijing. Zhang Chen smiled and said, "Hello, hello. Thank you for your concern, business is going well." "Boss Zhang, how are you doing in Beijing now?" the other party asked. "Very good," Zhang Chen said, "we are now doing it ourselves in Beijing. The store is in Wangfujing. We have counters in more than a dozen shopping malls such as Lufthansa, Parkson, and Seth." "Your store is in Wangfujing," the other party's voice sounded a little surprised and a little disappointed. "Yes, if you have a chance, you can go over and take a look. Xiaoli is in charge there. You should know her." "Is that the salesperson you used to have at Sijiking?" "Yes, she is now the general manager of our Beijing branch," Zhang Chen said. "Okay, I'll definitely go over and take a look when I get the chance. See you, Mr. Zhang." The other party hung up the phone as he said that. Zhang Chen could imagine in his mind how disappointed his face was. He must have turned around. After tasting the 100% exchange rate, he decided to do half an acre. "When I was in the field, I made a lot of money. Looking back, I wanted to be their general agent. But I'm sorry, after passing this village, this store is no longer there." Zhang Chen felt that after answering this call, he felt so happy. A few days ago, Hong Mei told him that the guy from Yunnan called her. "What?" Zhang Chen asked. "Haha, I don't want to turn around. From me, I can learn how Yunnan is doing now. I told him directly that it was very good, better than what you did before," and he was speechless, Hong Mei said with a smile. Hong Mei and Xiao Zhao walked in from outside. Zhang Chen told them the phone number from the Beijing Zoo just now. Hong Mei shouted. "Then bastard, why don't you let him eat shit?" "Waiting for you to tell me," Zhang Chen smiled. "Okay, give me his phone number and I'll call him," Hong Mei scolded. "Sister Xiao Zhao, didn't you see how bad this bastard was on West Lake last year? He came there on purpose. You are causing trouble, please give me your phone." It seemed that what happened last year really made Hong Mei very angry. Thinking about it now, she was still angry. Zhang Chen said forget it, it was boring. "Coward," Hong Mei rolled her eyes at him and cursed. "You are so talkative that these people think that after bullying others, they can still have a chance to cooperate later," Hong Mei said. "I support you in scolding him," Xiao Zhao and Hong Mei said. Hong Mei stretched out her hand, Zhang Chen smiled, but still did not tell her her phone number, nor did he give her his eldest brother. "By the way, how was it when you went to the factory last night?" Zhang Chen changed the topic and asked. "Of course it's a complete victory. Zhao Zhigang is no match for Sister Shahen and I," Hong Mei smiled happily. "You didn't see that Zhao Zhigang was under our guard. He would rush whatever we asked him to deliver goods." When Xiao Zhao heard this, he became anxious and shouted, "Then should I go to rob it at night? Xiaoli and Xiaomi have called me many times." Hong Mei laughed and said, "Go ahead and ask this person to accompany you. If he has the strength, the boss and his wife will go to their factory to grab goods. It will be an eternal spectacle." Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao both laughed. Zhang Chen remembered that more new workers would arrive today. He picked up the phone and called Zhao Zhigang to ask him how the recruitment of workers was going. Zhao Zhigang told him that they would all be here tonight. "Lao Wan and the others know, I'm so busy. I'm asking the bed cutting workers to help me, and then I'm going to the cutting bed to pull the cloth." "What can the bed cutter do to help?" Zhang Chen asked curiously. "Let's build a bed, boss. I asked the machine seller to bring someone to install the machine. The bed seller doesn't have anyone to install the bed," Zhao Zhigang said. Zhang Chen remembered that so many workers were coming today and the steel frame beds in the dormitory had to be installed. It turned out that these were the tasks of Lao Wan and his maintenance team. Without Lao Wan and his team, there were not many men left in the factory. Well, Zhao Zhigang really had no choice but to transfer people from the cutting room to work there. "Do you want me to come over and help?" Zhang Chen asked. "Are you alone?" Zhao Zhigang asked. "Forget 1, 10 are fine." After putting down the phone, Zhang Chen still withheld the second-hand goods, and borrowed 3 security guards from Hagen in the market below. "If one couldn't do it, how about 5 damn ones, Zhao Zhigang? Do you want us to go over and help?" Xiao Zhao asked. "Forget it," Zhang Chen said and walked out, and went to the third fort with Huo and the others to help with the work. Unexpectedly, not long after Zhang Chen and the others arrived at Sanbao, Xiao Zhao, He Hongmei, and Zhao Jingjing also arrived. They couldn't install the bed, so they could go to the cutting bed to pull fabrics. They had to go back to do their own work, otherwise the keyholes and buttons and packaging would be manned. Not enough again. Zhang Chen and the others had just started to work when Lao Tan's jeep drove in. Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao were startled and hurried over, only to see Lao Tan and Han Jiao Bang getting out of the car. When they saw them, Han Jiao Bang and they said, "When I went to your place and you were not there, I happened to meet Brother Tan." Lao Tan said, "I went to the construction site opposite, and then I went to your office for a walk. The people in the office said that you are here. The emperor just wanted to take a look at the factory, so we came." Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, looked around and sighed, "The scale is really not small." Zhang Chen wanted to take him to visit. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, said that he should work first and then visit after finishing the work. Behind Zhang Chen, a truck of beds had just arrived. Everyone was unloading the bed frame and bed boards from the truck and heading upstairs. "Move." Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, saw Zhang Chen hesitating and shouted, "Don't worry, I have never done any kind of work." He picked up a thick stack of 4 bed boards and carried it upstairs. Lao Tan took the hammer from Zhang Chen and told him that while I couldn't move things upstairs or downstairs, I could still build a bed. He went upstairs with the hammer in hand. Zhang Chen quickly shouted, "Okay, big brother, the second-rate guy is upstairs, you look for the second-rate guy." After calling, Zhang Chen also picked up a thick stack of 4 bed boards and carried them upstairs. This time they have hired more than 300 new parking spaces. Including the original ones, they already have more than 900 parking spaces, and the workshop is almost full. With the increase in parking spaces above, the number of quality inspectors and supervisors will also increase, and the number of cutting, ironing, and back-end workers below, including handymen, will also increase. Even the number of chefs and helpers in the employee canteen will also increase. This time, they are all added at once. More than 400 people arrived at the same time within 2 or 3 days, and the chaos in a short period of time was conceivable. It's also because Zhang Chen's factory has a good reputation in Hangzhou. All sewing workers know that this factory has high labor prices, good treatment, and good food in the cafeteria. They all want to come, but it's difficult to get in. With such an opportunity, it's not possible. Seize it, so they all flock to it. Some people came here on leave from their original unit. After taking this leave, they were not planning to go back. The purpose of asking for leave was that they were worried that they would not be able to get in, or that they would be eliminated immediately after they got in, so they had a backup plan. But when she came here, she couldn't help but laugh. She saw that the supervisor in the factory whom she had asked for leave from was also here. He was willing to be a lathe worker like herself. Everyone smiled and understood it tacitly. More often than not, you threw away your unpaid wages and deposits and came here resolutely. Finding a good factory is the same as finding a good husband. The time you spend with your husband is not as long as the time you spent in the factory. If you have this opportunity, of course you have to choose Jeji. Liangfen is now the quality inspection team leader in the factory. The original piece has been broken. The old man is always a little uncomfortable looking at the new man, and even hates it. Plus Liangfen is a very serious person. Zhang Chen recommended Liangfen to be the quality inspection team leader. Zhang Chen and Zhao Zhigang said that she was a person with a sense of honor. When Zhang Chen saw Zhao Zhigang staring at him, he said that she was a person who wanted to save face. Don't worry about doing things, she won't let you lose face. Do you believe it or not? Zhao Zhigang was doubtful, but since his boss recommended it, he made Liangfen the leader of the quality inspection team. The result was exactly as Zhang Chen said. Liangfen served as the leader of the quality inspection team for 2 days, and all the supervisors below couldn't bear it. They came to complain to Zhao Zhigang. They complained, and Zhao Zhigang saved the trouble and secretly enjoyed themselves. Even Kaidi and Zhao Zhilong didn't let go of the things they put together, and they were still merciless about the things they came up with. When they went to Zhao Zhigang's place, they said there was nothing they could do about it. If the clothes in the factory were if I don't do well, Director Zhao won't scold me, but I will be scolded by my daughter when I go home. She says that all her hard work has been wasted by me. What should I do? After Liangfen said this, Kaidi and Zhao Zhilong had no choice but to go back to the workshop. Zhao Zhigang secretly had fun again and quietly told Liangfen that he had done a good job, just to give them power. In addition, she is tall and strong. When she is free, everyone has seen her bravery on the basketball court below. Even the young men who cut the bed can't beat her. When she stands in front of people, she will naturally know how to do it. Give people a kind of pressure. Liangfen ran over and said to Zhang Chen and Zhao Zhigang, no, 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 the work is too rough for these newcomers, and the time to do it is not as much time as to rework. When the reworked clothes are handed over, the threads are still 1 foot long. We 8 people are so busy. You set the number of stitches for him, and as soon as you walked away, he secretly released the number of stitches. Open the number of stitches. The thinner the stitches, the faster the sewing machine will run. The denser the stitches, the slower the sewing machine will run. Each sewing machine has a stitch adjustment knob that can be adjusted. According to the thickness and characteristics of different fabrics, Zhang Chen and others have regulations on the number of stitches per 3 cm in the craft sheet. Generally, their stitches are denser than other factories, so many new workers will not adapt. If I feel like I can't do the job, I will secretly loosen my stitches. Zhao Zhigang told Liangfen that it would be fine as soon as they got used to it. The sewing workers in Hangzhou were basically making market goods. They only focused on quantity, not quality. They didn't care about stitches. How could you piece together several pieces of cloth? Just a piece of clothing is enough. Even if you change a group of workers, the situation will still be the same. We can only rely on us to correct their habits. Zhao Zhigang thought of a way. He split the original old workers and divided the new workers into a new group. Instead, he mixed the new workers into the original old workers. People are like this. When you see people around you no longer working hard, you will slow down and do a good job. Not to mention the wages here. If you make 10 pieces, it will be better than if you worked hard in the original factory. 15 pieces was still high, so I wasn't that anxious. In addition, if you meet Lifen, you can't escape even if you want to. Reworking a piece of clothing will not only give Lifen them a headache, but the workers will also have an even bigger headache. You must know that there is no wage for rework, and all you waste is your own time. In this way, both the supervisor of each group and the quality inspection team feel that the pressure has been reduced a lot. Thank you Tin Soldier, third from top to bottom for the tip. Thank you Zulai, Mu Yangxiang, Li Rujin, and Wu Yehuan for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 837. Chief Secretary Fu Lai told Zhang Chen and Zhao Zhigang, Mr. Zhang, and Factory Director Zhao, you want to provide a car for our canteen. Zhang Chen was confused, why does this cafeteria need a car? The old man sat down and calculated for the two of them. The old man said, we now need more than 1,300 kilograms of rice a day. 1 kilogram of rice, the difference between the rice store and the wholesale market is more than 10 cents, and I need an average of 300 kilograms of meat a day. How many kilograms? 1 kilogram of meat, the difference between the farmer's market and the wholesale market here is more than 1 yuan, and there are also other meat dishes such as chicken legs, chicken wings, and fish. Although some of the vegetables are delivered by nearby vegetable farmers, and the price is similar to Sanlitting, it is still not enough. We still have to buy vegetables, tofu, oil, and seasonings every day. Whatever, our canteen, if we go to wholesale, if you purchase goods in the market, the difference will be tens of thousands a month. So much. Zhang Chen was startled and looked at Zhao Zhigang. When the old man was talking, Zhao Zhigang was calculating with a calculator. He really didn't know anything. He was startled when he calculated. Zhang Chen looked at him and he clicked. Head. Old Fu, tell me what you think. Zhang Chen looked at Old Fu and said, took a cigarette from the cigarette case on the table and handed it to Old Fu. The old man took it and Zhang Chen wanted to give him some. He quickly said, I have it. I have it. He took out a lighter from his pocket and lit the cigarette. Lao Fu and Zhang Chen said that his plan was to buy a car and recruit another person. This person should be a smart driver and purchaser. Anyway, every 3 or 4 days, I would go to the wholesale market to find out the price of the goods. When he is brought back to the factory, he must be weighed so that he is not afraid of causing trouble. In this way, a lot of money can be saved in the canteen in a month. The money saved can be used at the end of each month and during the New Year and holidays to have dinners for everyone and improve the food. The workers do not have that much to do with the canteen. Opinion. Zhang Chen and Zhao Zhigang both thought Lao Fu's idea was a good one. On the same day, they bought a Wuling light truck and hired a driver. Looking at the Wuling car parked at the entrance of the cafeteria, Zhao Zhigang said to Lao Fu, the vegetable sellers in the farmers' market hate you so much. They saw that we had recruited so many new people. They thought they could make a fortune, but you didn't expect that they would make a fortune. The financial path was cut off, and even the original business was no longer possible. The old man smiled and said, we are still harvesting the farmers' vegetables, as long as they don't hate us and don't cause trouble. After Zhang Chen's factory was established, the vegetable farmers near Sanbao, like the original landlord, no longer went to Sanlitting to sell vegetables. Instead, they collected the vegetables in the fields and sent them directly here. The prices were similar, but they saved a lot of time. Drink old wine and beat old K, why not do it? After a short period of busyness, the factory finally got back on track and goods could be supplied normally. Zhang Chen breathed a sigh of relief. He felt that this spring had been very thrilling. As Tan Shahen said, if he was not vigilant, he would not even be able to eat rice. Fortunately, when I woke up, there were still a few capable people below. Zhang Chen walked to the distribution center. Zheng Huiyang showed Zhang Chen the sales ranking of each store in the country and the ranking of each style. Zhang Chen's eyes lit up. He saw that the tables looked like they were printed. Same, asked Zheng Huiyang, is this what the printer printed out? Zheng Huiyang nodded and took Zhang Chen to see the printer. Zhang Chen's intuition was so amazing. In his impression, printing presses were huge. He didn't expect that such a small box could print such beautiful things. Is it troublesome to print this thing? Zhang Chen asked. It's not troublesome at all, Mr. Zhang, look. Zheng Huiyang typed in a few letters and clicked. The printer clicked. After a few seconds, it started to make a buzzing sound. After a while, a beautiful replenishment order came out. Zhang Chen was stunned when he saw it. He felt, the magic of this world exceeds my imagination. Can you give me one copy of this every day? Zhang Chen shook the form in his hand and asked Zheng Huiyang, if that were the case, he would not need to go to the distribution center, make a phone call, or even go to Sanbeo. He could see and control the whole country from his office on Stadium Road. Of sales. Of course, can I ask Xiao Sheng to send it to you every day? Zheng Huiyang asked. Zhang Chen said yes, that's great. Zheng Huiyang, tell me, what else can this computer do? Zhang Chen asked curiously. Remember the software I told you about last time? It is said that after installing it, you can still draw on it. Real? That's what it says in the magazine, Zheng Huiyang said. Also, in Beijing, they already have access to the internet through telephone lines. Online, what do you mean? The World Wide Web connects computers all over the world. Through computers, you can see things posted online by everyone in the world. For example, if we post a picture of clothes online, people in the United States and France he can see it through the computer. So magical. Yes, you can also send emails. Like us now, doesn't every store have to send their reports by fax? If there is an internet connection, just send an email. Mr. Zhang, you have a computer there, don't let Xiao Sheng deliver it, just send it to you via email and you can receive it, Zheng Huiyang said. Zheng Huiyang, how do you know so much? Zhang Chen became interested and pulled up a stool to sit down. Zheng Huiyang said, I am just interested in these things. When I see something related to these, I pay special attention. Zhang Chen nodded, then what internet access you are talking about, isn't it possible in Hangzhou? Zheng Huiyang shook her head and said, although the international dedicated internet line for our country and the world was opened last year, only institutions in Beijing such as the Chinese Academy of Sciences, Tsinghua University and Peking University can access the internet. Zhang Chen sighed and asked, there is nothing you can do in Hangzhou, and even Zhejiang University can't get online. Zheng Huiyang nodded, and after a while, she said that it was possible in theory, but in practice it couldn't be done. What do you mean? Zhang Chen asked. To access the internet, you actually use a modem to dial a server connection phone. A modem is a device dedicated to internet access. Even if we don't have an access number, we can still dial international long distance and access through a phone in the United States. Then why do you say it can't be done in practice? Zhang Chen asked curiously. Then you have to go to the United States first. You have to register and pay a lot of things. By the way, you also have to buy a modem, so it's impossible. Zhang Chen nodded, understood, and told her, tell me when you can have sex, and also tell me if there is any new news in this regard. Zheng Huiyang said softly, okay, Mr. Zhang. Zhang Chen went back to the Stadium Road. In the car, Zhang Chen asked the second guy, how is eldest brother doing during this time? The second-rate guy smiled and said, he seems to be very happy and works hard every day. At night, Liu Bang, the great ancestor of the Han Dynasty, always comes to him for a drink and says he wants to introduce a Taiwanese girl to him. I didn't expect the two of them to get along so well, Zhang Chen said with a smile. Hefei, we quarreled every day, and they started arguing while drinking. Every day, Liu Bang, the great ancestor of the Han Dynasty, would leave in anger, but he was forced to come back the next night. Zhang Chen laughed and asked, what are they arguing about? The forced ones, one represents the National Army and the other represents the Communist Army, say how the battle should be fought. Liu Bang, the great ancestor of the Han Dynasty, always said that if we fight like this, we will not lose, and the initiative in the battle still belongs to us. In his hands. Of course my Uncle Ten refused to do it, and told him, you will still lose if you do this, and the two of them started to quarrel. That's not bad. It's also good to have someone who can quarrel with Big Brother every day. The second-hand guy also laughed and said, "It's true. I'm forced to do that." Liu Bang, the great ancestor of the Han dynasty, has returned to Taiwan in the past 2 days. My Uncle Tan is restless and walks around the room every night. When he hears the sound of the stairs outside, he bangs the door. He opened the door and startled the person who was going up and down the stairs. He kept saying, "It's a long way from the mainland to Taiwan. It's just a short step away. Why haven't you come back for so long?" I told him that I had only left for 2 days and was forced to raise him. My Uncle Tan also scolded me and said that he could come back in 1 day. I asked him, "Do you want Liu Bang, the founder of the Han dynasty, or do you want to introduce him to you?" Taiwanese bitches, they were forced to raise me. Uncle Tan chased me and wanted to beat me. Zhang Chen laughed. After he finished laughing, Zhang Chen asked, "Second bitch, where is your own bitch?" The second-rate guy chuckled and said, "My aunt went to see it, and she said it's not bad." "Really? Then how come I didn't know? I am forced to raise you. My aunt is an elder. Of course she needs to know. My Uncle Tan also knows. You are just an instructor. Why do you want to know?" the second-rate scolded. "Aren't you nosy?" Zhang Chen glared at the second-rate guy. The second-rate guy saw it and said, "Okay, I'm forced to raise you. You will know anyway. My aunt said we would have dinner together this weekend. You will see it then." They arrived at Stadium Road, parked the car, and the two got out of the car. Zhang Chen made sure that the second guy took him to see his girlfriend. The second guy said that he was not working now and she would have the day off. "Then take me to see which store it is. I'll go there and check it out myself tomorrow." Zhang Chen suspected that the second-rate guy was lying to him, so he forced the second-rate dealer. Huo had no choice but to take him into the market. When they arrived at the Nike store, as soon as the two of them walked in, a little girl inside shouted, "Brother Zayajun, she doesn't go to work today." The second-hand guy said, "I know, I'm not looking for her, this is my boss, I'm accompanying him to buy shoes. Yajuan, show him the most expensive shoes in your store, he won't wear cheap ones." "Okay, boss, what size are you wearing?" Zhang Chen glared at the second-rate guy, who pretended not to notice. Zhang Chen said helplessly, 41. Yajuan happily went to get Zhang Chen's shoes, took out the shoes and said to Zhang Chen, "Boss, this is the most expensive one in our store, commemorative edition, 980 pairs, boss, you can try it?" "No need to try it on, Yajuan, please place an order quickly. My boss has seen these shoes a long time ago and has already tried them on." "You tried it? Did you try it when Zayajun was here?" "That's right, open the order quickly," the second-hand guy urged. Yajuan immediately opened the order and handed it to Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen had no choice but to pay the money. As soon as the two people went out holding the shoes, Zhang Chen was about to scold them when the second-rate guy smiled and said, "Instructor, do you like these shoes? If you don't like them, give them to me. I am also a size 41. Zhang Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry, and stuffed his shoes into the second-rate guy's arms. Thank you Cup Guy API and K Kapan Ganquan for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Happy Saturday everyone. I have something to do tonight and I have another update. I may not have time to write it out. If not, please forgive me. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 838. Half a month later, Liu Bang, the founder of the Han dynasty, came back from Taiwan. He really brought a woman, but she was not the one he wanted to introduce to Lao Tan, but she came to see Zhang Chen and their clothes. This woman is in her 30s, her surname is Lin, her name is Lin Shuwen, and her skin is very fair. Lu Bang, the founder of the Han Dynasty, asked Xiao Zhao to go shopping with Lin Shuwen. Xiao Zhao thought she was going to play by the West Lake, but Lin Shuwen said she wanted to go to their store to visit. Look, Xiao Zhao took her to Yan'an Road. After going to Yan'an Road, he said he wanted to visit the factory, so Xiao Zhao took her to Sanbeo factory. After coming out of the factory, they went to Stadium Road and saw their design center. When they arrived at Zhang Chen's office, Lu Bang, the great ancestor of the Han Dynasty, was here chatting with Zhang Chen. Seeing them coming in, Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han Dynasty, asked how Lin Shuwen was doing. Lin Shuwen nodded. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han Dynasty, told Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao that Lin Shuwen was in Taipei and also made clothes. Do you know Zhongxiao East Road in Taipei? On Zhongxiao East Road, the busiest commercial street in Taipei, Ms. Lin has a 3-story clothing store, which is about the same size as your store on Yan'an Road. Lin Shuwen said that she came here this time after being introduced by brother Lu and made a special trip to see Zhang Chen and their clothes. If possible, she would see how the two parties could cooperate. Do you have stores in any other cities in mainland China? Lin Shuwen asked. Zhang Chen said that there are basically provincial capital cities, but many are opened by general agents below. In East China, we are doing it ourselves. In Zhejiang and southern Jiangsu, we have our stores in every county, as well as Weihai Middle Road in Shanghai and Wangfu in Beijing. Jing's specialty store is also opened by our company. You also have stores on Weihai Middle Road in Shanghai and Wangfujing in Beijing. How is the business? Lin Shuwen asked. Zhang Chen took out the report that Xiao Sheng sent in the morning, showed it to Lin Shuwen, and told her that this is the sales situation of all our stores yesterday. If you want to see the entire month, I can also ask them to send it over. I have the ones from last month in my finance department. Miss Lin, do you want to see them? Xiao Zhao asked. Okay, thank you, Xiao Zhao, give me a reference, Lin Shuwen said. Xiao Zhao went to the financial center next door, took the report and handed it to Lin Shuwen. After reading it carefully, Lin Shuwen told Zhang Chen that in Taipei, almost all the well-known brands in the world are sold in Japanese and American products. But there is nothing like your style. I am very optimistic about your half-acre farm. I think there should be a market for this in Taipei. The only trouble now is that the goods, like people, have to pass through Hong Kong and then transfer to Taipei. The transportation is not very convenient. But this can also ensure that similar clothing will not appear again in Taipei. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han Dynasty, said. Lin Shuwen smiled and said, this is true. Brother Lu is right. I rarely see mainland clothes in Taipei. A few years ago, mainland clothing factories did not have the ability to design. When we first made clothing, we imported goods from Guangzhou, and the goods in Guangzhou were all imitations of Hong Kong and Taiwan. At that time, we only knew how to imitate, where we also have the ability to export to Taiwan, Zhang Chen said. Lin Shuwen nodded. She asked Zhang Chen how you were cooperating with the general agent below. Zhang Chen told Lin Shuwen. After listening to this, Lin Shuwen told Zhang Chen that this exchange rate would not exist if we cooperated. If the goods were returned, my side would be counted as an export and your side would be counted as an import. I might as well deal with it as a big reward. If that's the case, I can give you a 2.5% discount directly, Zhang Chen said. Where's the shipping cost? Lin Shuwen asked. Of course you are responsible for this. We are all customers who bear the shipping costs themselves, Zhang Chen said. Brother Lu, do you know whether the freight from Shanghai port to Taipei is expensive? Lin Shuwen asked. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han Dynasty, stretched out his right hand, made an 8 sign, and said to Lin Shuwen, if you give out clothes for $800 per 40-foot cabinet, how much can you give out for a 40-foot cabinet? The shipping fee should be less than $1 Taiwan per item. How long does it take to get to Taipei? Lin Shuwen asked. 15 days. Lu Bang, the great ancestor of the Han dynasty, said. Mr. Zhang, if I place an order, how long will it take for you to help me ship the goods? Lin Shuwen asked Zhang Chen. It depends on the quantity, Zhang Chen said. For spring and summer clothing, there are about 50,000 pieces. 10 days to half a month. Can you hurry up, Mr. Zhang, please, please, I received it already in mid-April. Zhang Chen thought for a moment and said, is 8 days okay? Lin Shuwen nodded, turned around and said to Xiao Zhao, thank you, can you show me your price list for my reference? Zhang Chen had a price list here. He showed it to Lin Shuwen. After reading it, Lin Shuwen said to Zhang Chen. Mr. Zhang, I'm just kidding, I hope you don't mind. Zhang Chen said yes. Will you, I mean in the future, will you deliberately raise the price when you give me a quotation? Don't talk nonsense. As soon as Lin Shuwen finished speaking, Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, shouted, these two are not such people, I can guarantee it. Zhang Chen smiled and said, it's understandable that Ms. Lin has such an idea. After all, she is not in the mainland. However, we can agree in the contract that if such behavior occurs here, I will be responsible for compensating 3 times the payment for the entire batch of goods. Lin Shuwen looked at Lu Bang, the founder of Han dynasty, smiled, turned back to Zhang Chen and said, Mr. Zhang, thank you for not minding, but how do I know if you have adjusted the price of this batch of goods especially for me? It's very simple, Zhang Chen said, the same clothes can be found in our stores in Hangzhou, Shanghai, and Beijing. By the way, they are also available in major shopping malls in Beijing and Shanghai. Ms. Lin must have friends in these stores. Place, you just need to ask your friends to check it out. If there is a different price, just buy one, and the invoice or sales receipt can be used as evidence. Thank you, Mr. Zhang, I believe you. Lin Shuwen asked Xiao Zhao, thank you, are you free in the afternoon? Xiao Zhao nodded and said yes. Where do you have the most complete products? Lin Shuwen asked. This year's styles are now available in the Yan'an Road store, Zhang Chen said, if you want all styles, including last year's, the factory's distribution center has samples. It doesn't matter to me. Your styles from last year are also new to me. Lin Shuwen turned around and said to Xiao Zhao, thank you, can you accompany me to the factory again? I want to order. Xiao Zhao said yes. Xiao Zhao took Lin Shuwen out, called He Hongmei, and the 3 of them went to Sanbeo together. After they left, Han Emperor Lu Bang and Zhang Chen said that Miss Lin was very famous as a clothing maker in Taipei. If you could make it here, it would spread throughout Taiwan. Not only did she open a shop in Taipei, but she was also a bit like you guys. Taichung, Daowen, New Taipei, including Tainan and Kaohsiung, will all come to her to get goods. Zhang Chen nodded and said, no wonder, I said that a retail store can buy so many goods at one time. It turns out that she also does wholesale. That's right, it's wholesale. Brother, is she your friend? Zhang Chen asked. Yes, I used to work in my nightclub. When I got older, the original food was not good, so I looked for another job. I am also a smart and courageous person. I opened a small clothing store, and it opened like this in a few years. Big. I'm not brave enough to come to the mainland to purchase goods. Zhang Chen smiled. That's because I am there. What does she have to fear by following me? Lu Bang, the great ancestor of the Han dynasty, shouted. You, the National Army, are back, but the Communist Army is still waiting for you. Zhang Chen and Lu Bang, the founder of the Han dynasty, said. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, remembered it and shouted, I arrived yesterday and spent half the day with Miss Lin. I didn't even call Brother Tan. I'll detain him. As Lu Bang said this, he got up from the sofa, walked to his desk, picked up the phone and rang Lao Tan. After a while, Lao Tan called back. Liu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, said to him, "Brother Tan, I'm back." "Wait there, don't go anywhere," Lao Tan yelled and hung up the phone. Zhang Chen stood in front of the window. Less than 10 minutes later, he saw Lao Tan's car arriving and knew that he had just been at the splendid Jiangnan construction site opposite. Old Tan came in with a bang, holding a roll of paper in his hand. When he walked in, he called Liu Bang, the great ancestor of the Han dynasty, "Come on, come over here." He opened the paper roll in his hand on the small conference table in Zhang Chen's office. Zhang Chen looked at it and saw that it was actually a map drawn by Lao Tan himself. Zhang Chen couldn't see where the drawing was. "It is filled with red and green arrows. Come here, what you said last time, I've thought about it for a few days, but it's still wrong. I can still defeat you," Old Tan shouted. Liu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, walked over and shouted, "The situation on the battlefield is changing rapidly. How many days are left? Who will give you a few days?" Zhang Chen knew that they were about to start again, so he smiled and said, "Okay, two eldest brothers, you continue. If you make a noise here, you won't disturb the neighbors." He went out with a smile, closed the door, and walked to the design center. At around 4 o'clock, Xiao Zhao and He Hongmei came back. Zhang Chen saw them coming up and walked out of the design center, and asked, "Where is Miss Lin? I was so exhausted that I wanted to go back to the hotel to sleep for a while and then call her during dinner." "We sent her to the hotel," Xiao Zhao said. Zhang Chen nodded, and the three of them walked over and opened the door of Zhang Chen's office. They saw Lao Tan and Liu Bang, the great ancestor of the Han dynasty. They didn't quarrel this time. The two sat there facing each other, staring at the map in front of them, frowning. "Exhibited." Zhang Chen smiled softly, quickly retreated, closed the door, and called Xiao Zhao and He Hongmei, "Come on, let's go over there." He Hongmei was surprised and asked, "What are the two of them doing?" Zhang Chen smiled and said, "The battle has entered a stalemate stage, and we are fighting for wits and courage." He Hongmei snorted, "Men are childish." "Okay, tell me," Zhang Chen smiled, "what did you women do?" "Do you know how many goods she ordered?" Xiao Zhao asked. "How many?" 232 styles, more than 58,000 conditions." "So much?" "Yes." The three people walked into the design center, and when they arrived at Zhang Chen's workstation, He Hongmei complained, "The supply has just gone smoothly, don't delay it again. With such a big order, for 8 days, will other goods have to be stopped?" "No, don't worry, I will arrange it." Zhang Chen quickly said that he and Miss Lin had already reserved 200 parking spaces for 8 days to produce goods that were urgently needed to be replenished. The supply was normal some time ago, and the replenishment from various places was met. Zhang Chen expected, it should last for a few days. "Thank you, Mr. Zhang." He Hongmei imitated Miss Lin's tone, then her face changed and she cursed, "I don't care, I'll come to you anyway if I can't replenish the goods. Also, although it is a buyout, the profit is not high," Xiao Zhao said. "I'll take it even if I don't make money," Zhang Chen said, "I want to fulfill my dream." "What dream?" He Hongmei asked. Zhang Chen didn't say anything, but turned around and opened the cabinet behind him, took out a map from it and spread it out. Xiao Zhao and He Hongmei understood. They saw that this was a map of East China. Almost every city on it had a 5-pointed star on it. Only Shanghai and the entire Taiwan were blank. Xiao Zhao remembered that this map was originally posted at their landlord's house in Sanbao. He Hongmei said, "That's right. It's true that men are childish and like to point out the world with a map. In fact, the world has been ruined by men like you who like to look at maps." Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao laughed. Zhang Chen picked up the red marker and Xiao Zhao shouted, "I'll do it, I'll do it." Zhang Chen gave her the pen, and Xiao Zhao drew Shanghai first. Instead of drawing a 5-pointed star in Shanghai, she said this is millet and then wrote the word rice. Then in Taipei, I drew a 5-pointed star. After I finished the drawing, I was not very satisfied. I felt that the 5-pointed star was not as good as Zhang Chen's painting. Okay, Xiao Zhao sighed, on the map, you childish guys are still the best. Thank you to the 10,000 years white ticket party, doll tin soldiers, and daily pages for the rewards. Thank you Cup Guy API, May, Yuju, Bustling Farce, and Fatty 196,915 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 839. They had dinner in Zhang Shenji's private room. Lu Bang, the great ancestor of the Han dynasty, picked Lin Shuwen up at the hotel in Lao Tan's car. When she got to the box, Lin Shuwen took out a stack of $50,000 from her bag, handed it to Xiao Zhao, and told her that this was the deposit for this contract. The number of clothes was just what I asked for in the afternoon. I will go to you tomorrow morning for the contract. Company, sign with Mr. Zhang. Xiao Zhao said, what's the hurry, Miss Lin? The deposit will be paid when the contract is signed tomorrow. Lin Shuwen said, time is tight, you can arrange it later. Also, you can keep the deposit. When all my payment is received, you can give it to Brother Lu. Neither Xiao Zhao nor Zhang Chen understood what it meant to withdraw. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, saw it and asked Zhang Chen, brother, does your company have import and export rights? Zhang Chen said yes. It was completed not long after registering the company. Originally, I thought that since we don't do foreign trade, it would be of no use. One of my clients in Zhangjiagang encouraged me to do it, saying that it would take a long time to complete it. You can use it when you need it, and leave it there when not in use. However, we have never done any foreign trade business. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, laughed, then you really have to thank you as a customer. No, it is used now, otherwise you would have to reissue it immediately. Of course, for a company of your size, reissue will be very fast, but there is also a process to follow, and you don't know if you can catch up with the time. If you can't catch up, you will suffer a loss. Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao looked at Lu Bang, the founder of Han dynasty, and still didn't understand what he was talking about. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, traveled between the two sides of the Taiwan Strait all year round and dealt with various companies. He also had companies in the mainland, importing and exporting goods. He was fully aware of the various policy adjustments on the mainland. He told Zhang Chen Xiao Zhao, you purchase fabrics. Do you need to issue a VAT invoice for accessories? Does the fabric you purchase actually include VAT? Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao nodded, they both knew this. Value-added tax is present in most countries. It is a transfer tax. What does it mean? To put it simply, if you get a value-added tax invoice, can it be deducted when you file your tax return? Do you need to issue a VAT invoice to sell your products? Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao continued to nod. This part of the tax is actually ultimately borne by the customer who buys the product. In other words, even if you buy a bottle of water at a roadside store, the bottle of water contains value-added tax. Now that the product is exported, this is part of the tax actually borne by foreign customers. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, told them that mainland China's export products used to have zero tariffs. Starting this year, in order to encourage enterprises to export, mainland China has adjusted tax rates and implemented an export tax rebate policy. According to different goods, tax rebates are divided into 3%, 6%, and 93% tax rebates. Your clothing belongs to the 9% tax rebate. In other words, after your batch of goods is exported, the country will also I will give you a 9% tax rebate. Didn't we increase our income by 9%? Xiao Zhao asked. Yes, the same clothes are sold in China, and that's the case for you, but this tax refund is calculated based on your order and the actual foreign exchange receipts, so Ms. Lin wants to pay the $50,000. She will give it to you as a deposit first. When the time comes, she will remit the entire payment to you, and you will return the 50,000 yuan to her. Her giving it now is a guarantee for you. Of course, you can also ask her to directly deduct the 50,000 yuan from the payment for the goods. When she remits the payment for the goods, she will remit 50,000 yuan less to you. This is the same to her. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, said. But in this case, we won't be able to enjoy the 9% tax rebate of the $50,000. Brother Lu, is that true? Xiao Zhao asked. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, nodded and said, that's right, because the tax refund is calculated based on the settlement of foreign exchange. Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao understood. In this way, there is a 9% tax rebate for this batch of goods arriving in Taiwan, which is more cost-effective than what they paid to the general agent. One more thing. When you export in the future, you will generally have two prices, one is the FOB price, and the other is the CIF price, which is the FOB price and the CIF price. When Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, met Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao, he really knew nothing about foreign trade, so he simply said a few words. What do you mean, Brother Lu? Xiao Zhao asked. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, tapped the bone plate in front of him with his chopsticks and told them that we should treat this plate as a cargo ship. He then used his chopsticks to slide the edge of the bone plate, and continued, the edge of the plate is the ship's side, and the FOB price means that as long as you deliver the goods to the shipping port, when the container crosses the ship's side, your matter is over. The subsequent freight, insurance, etc. have nothing to do with you. You can go through customs clearance procedures. What about the CIF price? Which is the CIF price? Xiao Zhao asked. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, moved the bone plate in front of him and said to Xiao Zhao. Then you have to wait for the ship to sail at sea. You will also pay for the freight and insurance at sea. You will have to wait until the ship arrives at the destination port. Likewise, when the container crosses the ship's side, your responsibility will be completed. This business is over. This time, for this business between you and Ms. Lin, the freight is borne by Ms. Lin, so the price you signed is the FOB price. Xiao Zhao and Zhang Chen understood this part, but next, Xiao Zhao didn't understand a lot. She said, Brother Lin, this sounds very complicated. It's a dock, a ship, a customs, and so on. Then what should we do this time? It sounds complicated, but it's not complicated at all. Awan, should you book the ship this time, or will my little brother book it for you? Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, asked Lin Shuwen, and Lin Shuwen said, I should book it in Taipei. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, nodded, turned to Xiao Zhao and said, then I will introduce you to a freight forwarding company in Hangzhou tomorrow. After Miss Lin has booked the ship, she will tell the freight forwarding company the ship's number and so on. The freight forwarding company will help you with the customs declaration procedures and act as an agent for customs declaration. We will also help you book a warehouse at the dock, including shipping procedures, etc. At that time, they will tell you the designated terminals and warehouses. You can just deliver the goods to the designated warehouses according to the time. You can also send container trucks directly from the terminal to your company for loading. This is the first time you do it. If the goods are urgent, I think it would be better to have a container truck come to your factory to pick up the goods. The freight may be more than 1,000 yuan more than if you hire a truck to pull it yourself, but that's a small amount. The most important thing is that you pull the truck yourself and transport it in the container. There is less loading and unloading in the middle. You pull it to the warehouse and unload it there. Come down and load the container, which takes time. The container comes directly and you install it in the factory. The driver will seal the box and take it directly to the dock, which saves a lot of time. In this way, in fact, for your factory, it is no different from domestic trade. Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao nodded and understood. Xiao Zhao asked, then, what else should we do with Miss Lin? Just tell Ms. Lin the shipping information. When Ms. Lin remits the payment to you, the freight forwarding company will give you the bill of lading. After you receive the payment, provide the bill of lading to Ms. Lin, and that's it. The rest is you. Isn't it very simple to settle the exchange and wait for the tax refund here? Xiao Zhao nodded, and Lu Bang, the emperor of Han Dynasty, smiled and said, it would be even simpler to do it. Finland is so far away. You haven't seen that I moved the entire bowling alley to the mainland. Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao thought about it. It was difficult to transport a bowling alley from abroad to the mainland. There would be so many things in it. I don't know how Lu Bang, the great ancestor of the Han Dynasty, did it. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han Dynasty, seemed to know what they were thinking and said with a smile. Actually, there is nothing difficult. All of this, after hundreds of years of operation, has a very complete and strict set of processes that are interlocking. Whether it is a shipping company, a terminal, an insurance company or a freight forwarding company, everyone does it. It is very standardized. If it is not standardized, it will not survive and it will not be able to evade responsibility. As long as you understand the process and what's going on, you don't need to do too much on your own. Don't worry, I transported an entire bowling alley to the mainland and it was just a matter of making a phone call. Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao said, thank you brother Lu. When Lu Bang, the founder of the Han Dynasty, was talking to Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao, Lao Tan kept looking at him. When he finished speaking, Lao Tan said, I can't see that you, a national soldier, are not simple enough to know so much. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han Dynasty, smiled and said, you, the communist army, know a lot of things that I don't know either. Come on, let's drink. After touching this cup, Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han Dynasty, picked up the cup again, looked at Zhang Chen, Xiao Zhao and Lin Shuwen, and said, on both sides of you, one side is my little brother and Xiao Zhao, and the other side is my good friend. Business is business. I hope you can do business and be friends. You can always be so dear and dear, so that's interesting. Come on, let's have another drink for this. When Lu Bang, the founder of the Han Dynasty, said this, He Hung Mei burst out laughing, and Lin Shuwen said, oh, brother Lu, it's okay for me and Xiao Zhao to have a close relationship. If I have a close relationship with Mr. Zhang, Xiao Zhao will be unhappy. Everyone laughed, and Lao Tan said, this emperor used a wrong word, but the meaning is right. I don't understand the other things, but in this business, if you don't recognize your relatives, there is no point in doing this business. Come on, let's drink to this. Everyone raised their glasses and drank. The door of the box opened and Lu Ligan walked in. He said sorry, he was drinking too over there and he was late. It's not so verbose. It's a penalty of drinking. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han Dynasty, said. The waiter was still looking for cups and tableware. Lu Ligan picked up Zhang Chen's cup, filled it with wine, and said to Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han Dynasty, how dare I not listen to the emperor's words, I will be punished. As he spoke, he drank a glass of wine. After Lu Ligan sat down, Han Emperor Lu Bang and Lin Shuwen said, Awen, didn't you say you like Hangzhou? Find boss Lu. His peach blossom garden is good. If you buy a house from him, you will have a home in the mainland. How many times have I told you, this opportunity is still in the mainland? Lin Shuwen picked up the wine glass and said to Lu Ligan, then I still need Boss Liu's help. Lu Ligan quickly raised his cup and said, I don't dare to be the emperor's friend. I will always fawn over you. Lin Shuwen smiled softly, drank the wine, then pursed her lips and looked at Lu Ligan with a smile, and Lu Ligan also drank the wine. After dinner, everyone else went to the bowling alley of Han Emperor Lu Bang to play bowling. Zhang Chen said he was going to the factory and immediately arranged Lin Shuwen's order. There were so many styles that he could cut as many as he wanted tonight. Bored down, Xiao Zhao wanted to go with Zhang Chen, but Zhang Chen said, you should accompany Miss Lin. You drank so much, Xiao Zhao said. It's okay. I'll keep the goods and let him come and drive. He's in the factory today and may stay a little late. Zhang Chen said. Xiao Zhao nodded. He Hongmei originally said that she helped Zhang Chen drive there, but after hearing what Zhang Chen said, she stopped talking. Thank you for the tip that ranks third from top to bottom. Thank you Renjinkuo, Zifi Kangsheng Edison, and book friend 201901042017583118 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all a happy life. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 840. Zhang Chen arrived at the factory, called Zhao Zhigang, and went to the distribution center together. Zhang Chen took out the list that Xiao Zhao and Miss Lin wrote in the afternoon, and said to Zheng Huiyang, please type this list, print a few more copies, and at the same time, count the number of last year's models, the quantity, and how many are in stock. Zheng Huiyang said yes. Zhang Chen and Zhao Zhigang said that they have more than 58,000 conditions and can give you 8 days, okay. Zhao Zhigang said without hesitation, okay, no problem. What's the problem with summer clothes? We can make at least 10,000 pieces a day now. It's a beautiful idea. I'll do it all for you. We don't want to ship or sell it ourselves. We stop and wait for you for 8 days. Aren't you afraid that Tan Shahen will come to you? Zhang Chen scolded. I'm afraid that beauty is very fierce when she is fierce. If so, I will jump off the building. Zhao Zhigang shouted, I can just be busy now, but I also want to give the workers a day off this Sunday. You come again. Don't jump. If you want to jump, wait until this batch of goods is finished before jumping. Zhang Chen said, you should think about how to complete this task without delaying this batch of goods. This is what the Taiwanese brought by Xiao Zhao this afternoon wants. Zhang Chen nodded. Are our clothes going to be sold to Taiwan? Yes, if you complete the task well, I will send all your people to Taiwan next time. Zhang Chen said. Real? Of course it's true. We have clients there. What's wrong with sending you to them for business inspections? By the way, if you can't finish it, we'll send you there too. This Miss Lin from Taiwan is even more vicious than Tan Shahen. Then I'm dead. I told you not to die. Okay, then I'll think of a way. While Zhang Chen and Zhao Zhigang were talking, Zheng Huiyang and the others were busy and laughing. Zhang Chen and Zheng Huiyang said, Zheng Huiyang, please also cooperate with Director Zhao. During this period, for the replenishment orders submitted by customers every day, you will select the most urgently needed ones and let Director Zhao arrange production. The total daily quantity should not exceed 1/3 of the production volume will be spent on those items that are still in stock in their store. Zheng Huiyang said softly, okay, Mr. Zhang. Also, we can adjust the goods between each store, and move the goods with more goods to those with less goods. Tell them that this will also reduce their risks, and then tell them that the part of the goods we adjust will not be counted in the exchange rate, so that they will be motivated to adjust the goods. Zheng Huiyang said yes. Zhang Chen and Zhao Zhigang were waiting. Zheng Huiyong and the others counted one by one. Miss Lin ordered a total of 66 styles last year, and the number was 10,862 sets. Zhao Zhigang breathed a long sigh of relief. In this way, he only had to rush for 48,000 pieces. Zheng Huiyong went on to say, but there are 4,850 sets, but they are out of stock. Zhao Zhigang scolded, can't you finish it all at once? Zheng Huiyong said aggrievedly, I just said it all at once. You were happy too early, Director Zhao. Zhang Chen laughed, and he said to Zhao Zhigang, indeed, it is true that you are happy too early. I will tell you another sad news. Even if there is something in stock, you must take out every piece and let the posters reorganize it. Why? The packaging is complete. When the goods were returned, they had been sorted and packed again. They were exactly the same as new, Zhao Zhigang said. Every item needs to be replaced with a tag, brother. The price on our tag is in RMB. You want the people of Taiwan to pay in RMB? By the way, Zheng Huiyong, this batch of goods, all the tags, and other contents remain unchanged, except that the price is empty. They monogram themselves. Zheng Huiyong said yes, and Zhao Zhigang looked at Zhang Chen and asked, that means we have to start all over again. Yes, are you happy? I'm happy. It's more troublesome to remake it than to package it directly. There is an additional process of cutting the hang tag. Zhang Chen and Zheng Huiyong said, based on the customer's order, you first pull out the list of last year's models, each model, each size, and each color, and how many are missing. Okay, Mr. Zhang, Zheng Huiyong said, and several people got busy immediately. Zhang Chen and Zhao Zhigang continued to wait until they pulled out last year's out-of-stock list. Zhang Chen and Zhao Zhigang took the list to the warehouse and took stock of the fabrics to see if there was enough fabric in stock. If not, they would contact the fabric manufacturer immediately tomorrow. Take a look at their fabric inventory, and if it doesn't work, place an order for production. If there is fabric in the warehouse, we will give up a cutting bed tonight to start cutting last year's style. Fortunately, they know which workers do it quickly and well. Zhao Zhigang decided that starting from tomorrow, let these workers make these old styles, so that there is no need for a skilled process. After coming out of the warehouse, the two of them went to the office. Zhao Zhigang immediately called the printing factory and the embroidery factory to inform them to find these patterns immediately and print them when it was time to print them. No matter how late it is tonight, there will be cut pieces sent over. Looking back, they went to the warehouse to check the status of the accessories and threads for these styles, and asked the warehouse to immediately count the missing accessories. Zhao Zhigang would arrange all these accessories, including sewing threads, tomorrow. By the time they were done, late-night snacks in the cafeteria had already been served. The next morning, Lin Shuwen arrived at Zhang Chen's office. Xiao Zhao gave her the receipt for the $50,000 deposit. She gave the receipt to Liu Bang, the great ancestor of the Han dynasty, and Liu Bang kept it. They signed the contract based on what was determined yesterday, and took the list that Zhang Chen brought back last night as an attachment to the contract, and both parties signed and confirmed it. Lin Shuwen said that she would fly to Hong Kong at noon and would rush back to Taipei from Hong Kong early tomorrow morning. Why are you in such a hurry? Xiao Zhao asked. If you don't want to spend a few days in Hangzhou, I will accompany you. Thank you, Xiao Zhao. I really have too many business matters. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I will come to Hangzhou often in the future, and there will be plenty of opportunities to play, Lin Shuwen said with a smile. I will set the sailing date soon when I go back. Things here, Mr. Zhang, I'll leave it to you, please, please. Zhang Chen said yes, Miss Lin, don't worry, the factory started moving last night. Really? That's great. I'm very happy to hear this. Thank you, Mr. Zhang. Lin Shuwen clapped her hands and thanked Zhang Chen. After leaving Zhang Chen's place, Lin Shuwen was going to the airport. Xiao Zhao and Han Jiaozulu Bang drove Zhang Chen's car to see her off. As soon as the three of them left, the phone on Zhang Chen's desk rang. It was Zhao's Hegang. Zhao's Hegang told Zhang Chen that last year's linen fabrics were still more than 3,000 meters short, and the weaving factory had no inventory and refused to make them. The quantity was too small. I increased the quantity to 10,000 meters, but they said it would take 20 days to deliver. Which factory? Zhang Chen asked. The one we are working on now is Zhangjiagong Sankei Weaving Company. Mr. Li's place? Who did you call? Xiao Li. Then did you call Mr. Li? Hit me, he asked me to find Xiao Li. This is humming pushing, Zhang Chen said. Okay, I'll call, don't worry about him, just fax the order over first. Zhao's Hegang said yes. Zhang Chen hung up the phone and dialed Mr. Li's office. The phone rang twice and was picked up. As soon as Zhang Chen said hello, Mr. Li said on the phone. Mr. Zhang, I knew you would call me. Xiao Li is also in my office. We are waiting for you to call us and scold us. Haha, Mr. Li, you're too polite. How dare I scold you? I'm calling to beg you. Mr. Zhang, our family doesn't speak the same language. It's not that we don't think the quantity is small. 4,000 meters is 4,000 meters. I just looked at it. We still have the stock of yarn in the warehouse. This is not the problem. Mr. Zhang, you don't get me wrong, your daily quota is here, why would I, Lao Li, think you don't have enough? Mr. Zhang, you must not misunderstand this. Okay, Mr. Li, I understand, Zhang Chen said, but I need this batch of goods very urgently. It doesn't matter if I add more. Mr. Zhang, you still misunderstood me when you said this. It's not a matter of quantity, it's just that the production is really too busy. We are all in one workshop producing your goods. Your goods are all high density. We can't go faster even if we want to. I squeezed all my other orders into the other two workshops, and it was really too busy. Yes, I know you, Mr. Li, are busy, otherwise I wouldn't have made the call, but when I think about it, it won't take long to cover several thousand meters of fabric. For me, the customer's shipping time has already been booked. There is no way, Zhang Chen said. Oh, Mr. Zhang, any order that is not shipped by the customer has been scheduled. I still have the ship the day after tomorrow, and the cloth is still on the machine. I am also very worried. By the way, Mr. Zhang, either pull your workshop. How many machines will be used to make it? Can you reduce the amount of your current fabric every day? No, this is definitely not possible, Zhang Chen said, something big will happen. Haha, Mr. Zhang, there are big things going on here every day. Also, do you think I am willing to stop? Do you know how long it takes me to read, and how much less fabric I need to weave? I don't know, Mr. Li, don't fool me with these things I don't understand. Haha, Mr. Zhang, seeing what you said, how dare I fool you? Zhang Chen took the microphone and thought for a moment, then he said harshly, Mr. Li, I am relying on you today anyway. You are also responsible for this incident. You must be responsible. What happened? How could it be caused by me? Mr. Li was surprised. Do you still remember that after my company was registered, you advised me to apply for import and export rights? Remember, isn't this a good thing? Why did it harm you, Mr. Zhang? Foreign trade is booming now. There are export tax rebates. My orders here have increased significantly. Yes, I know there is something going on. Didn't I do it? As a result, you, General Li, blocked the first order. You will lose money on the first order. Who dares to do it again? You said, General Li, if I without import and export rights, am I afraid to accept this order? You were the one who instigated me to do this in the first place. Now if I don't blame you, who should I blame? Do I have to rely on you? Haha, Mr. Zhang, can you rely on this? Yes, never mind, I'll go downstairs now and come to Zhang Jiagong immediately, Zhang Chen shouted. No, 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 Mr. Zhang, don't come. What? We're not a brother unit anymore? I'm not welcome anymore. Oh, Mr. Zhang, I'm afraid it will be easy for you to come here and I won't be able to send you away. Haha, Mr. Li, do you still know this? Okay, stop talking, Mr. Zhang, I will hum you, otherwise I will be forced to run away from home. Zhang Chen laughed, okay, thank you Mr. Li, then after I finish this order, I will go to Zhang Jiagong to visit you. Okay, okay, Mr. Zhang, welcome. Alas, there's really nothing we can do. After putting down the phone, Mr. Li and Xiao Li said, come on, get them done. In this way, other orders will be placed. Everyone is waiting in the factory and staring at the workshop every day, Xiao Li said. You don't know how to think of a solution? What do you do with your head? I'm your father, and that one is always your grandfather. 1/3 of our annual output value belongs to others. Do you really want them to come to your door? Come, Mr. Li asked angrily. Thank you book friend 201901042017583118 for your monthly ticket. Thanks for all the reading and votes. Have a good evening everyone.